Welcome to Senpai, your new home for immersive manga, manhwa, anime-inspired novels, and fantasy audiobook stories. Here, every episode brings you into a world of overpowered heroes, revenge arcs, cultivation journeys, virtual reality games, monsters, magic, and emotional character moments. Whether you enjoy dark fantasy, action, reincarnation, system stories, or epic adventure novels, Senpai is here to turn every chapter into a cinematic listening experience. So relax, put on your headphones, and let the story begin. Subscribe to Senpai and join the journey.
TL. So today's chapter was a bit longer than usual and a bit hard to translate. If something's confused you, please let me know in the comments, and I'll try my best to explain it. How come you and Wei Jun Yen were fighting? The atmosphere in the washroom became a bit awkward. Lin Luanqui realized Ling Mo didn't really have to answer her. Objectively speaking, they were just acquaintances that she thought she would never meet again, but what triggered Lin Luanqi's complicated feelings the most was that they suddenly met again somehow. Especially since last time she left without saying goodbye, making it hard for her to look into Ling Mo's eyes. Shana still had a bit of an impression of Lin Luanqui and the two guys, but since she had no interest in human affairs, she decided to just take Ye Lian to the side. Ye Lian, on the other hand, had just recovered some of her memories, so she seemed to be curious about Lin Luanqui. She probably felt something was familiar about this girl, since she kept staring at her. But Lin Luanqi's attention was on Ling Mo, so she didn't realize Ye Lian's change. I had a conflict with this guy. I'm just here to deal with something. He didn't need to clearly explain what happened between him and Wei Jun Yen, since he wasn't obligated to. What Ling Mo was curious about right now was why Lin Luanqui was here. Lin Luanqui could see from Ling Mo's eyes that he's probably guessing what she was planning to do, which began to make her a bit nervous. Why would I feel nervous when Ling Mo is looking at me? She felt a bit guilty. Her cheeks turned red. I came here with these two to kill Wei Jun Yen and take away this base. But she bitterly smiled to this point and then added, out of my expectations, you killed him first. She was hesitating on whether she should tell the truth, but on second thought, Ling Mo wasn't interested in those kinds of things, so he wouldn't take the base away. There's no need to conceal her plan from him. Plus, if she tried to hide her thoughts, it might irritate Ling Mo, which may ruin her entire plan. After all, Wei Jun Yen was killed by Ling Mo, so her plan was actually somehow ruined already. Ling Mo's unhappiness had really gone away after she told him the truth. He smiled and said, so I actually kind of helped you. Lin Luanqui laughed. I gotta thank you. If I tried to attack him, there would probably be a price to pay. He actually tried to talk me into working for him when he knew I also had superpowers, but when I turned him down, he tried to kill me. He was probably thinking there can't be two lions on one mountain. So that's the reason. Ling Mo slightly nodded. He could tell from Wei Jun Yen's behavior that he is pretty narrow-minded. If he wanted his plan to work, he needed to make sure that he was the only psychic, or else the other survivor groups would just wait and see whichever psychic offered the most security and wouldn't be completely loyal to him. No wonder she didn't want to talk about Wei Jun Yen before. She probably got taken advantage of from him several times. Running away from the university might have also been because of Wei Jun Yen. The two of you must be following her. Ling Mo turned his head and looked at Tang Xiaoshui, and he pung and mocked. The two of them looked at each other and nodded with embarrassment. He pung seemed to want to say something, but with Wei Jun Yen's body on the ground, it brought back the memory of almost getting killed by Ling Mo. So powerful. Before I thought Brother Ling and Sister Ling were the same level, but it seems that Brother Ling is much more powerful. Not just he pung, but Tang Xiaoshui had also finally realized how powerful Ling Mo was. He was so happy that he didn't piss Ling Mo off, or else they both probably wouldn't be alive right now. Wei Jun Yen was a psychic, but he got easily killed by Ling Mo and died like a dog. What are you guys planning to do next? Since you killed Wei Jun Yen, his things should be yours. Lin Luanqui hesitated and said in a low voice. She seemed to expect something, but got refused by Ling Mo before, so she didn't ask Ling Mo to stay. But Ling Mo killed Wei Jun Yen, which kind of helped her, so she thought of sharing the supplies from the base with Ling Mo. Ling Mo shook his head and said, I don't care about his things, those things are dirty, since they were all collected by exploiting others. His words were sort of true, since all the things that the survivors collected weren't of any use based on what he saw from Li Danyang's supplies. And those things were gotten from people sacrificing each other. Although he had killed Wei Jun Yen, his motivation to kill him in the beginning wasn't because he wanted to take his things. How about you? I thought you were looking for a rescue team, Ling Mo asked. Lin Luanqui seemed to be hesitating, and she slowly said, I thought of it before. But you were right. X-City University is just too big. Where can we find a rescue team? We can only try to stay here as long as possible and wait. I still believe there will be a rescue team, as long as I can wait till the time comes. And with me, these people here can have better lives. Ling Mo nodded. Lin Luanqui really was a nice girl. Although she does have some selfish motives, she was also considerate for her alumnus. She did this probably because she sympathizes with Tang Xiaoshui and he pung. She was probably also worried about survivors in this area. Why don't you guys stay here tonight? Lin Luanqui said with a bit of excitement. She didn't really know what she was excited about, probably because every time she saw Ling Mo, her envious feelings of Ye Lian and Shana gets awoken. Ling Mo thought since he's not really familiar with the environment, there was no need to go back to the library since he's already here. although he brought 10 zombie puppies, but this was a closed space, so no one will find out. Thinking to this point, he nodded. Lin Luanqui smiled with joy, but she knows that Ling Mo doesn't want to have any contact with the other survivors, so she took them to a small locker room. This place was very small, they just stored supplies here, so no one was living here. Lin Luanqui took him there, so she could let him take any supplies he wanted, but it's his business whether he was going to take it or not. After chatting a bit with Ling Mo, she wanted to take care of Wei Jun Yen's corpse. Ling Mo thought it might be hard for Lin Luanqui to explain to the survivors about Wei Jun Yen's death or how she was going to take control of the base, but he knew that Lin Luanqui was smart, and since she had superpowers also, it might not be impossible for her to accomplish her task. Tang Xiao Shui and He Peng Peng left the room with Lin Luanqui, but then they realized the changes on Ye Lian. She looked a little more human, but they didn't dare say anything. After the three of them left, Shana took Ye Lian to sit beside Ling Mo. She smiled and said, "Brother Lin, seems like the girl wants you to stay." Ling Mo pinched her on her slim waist and said, "I can also tell, but I'm not staying." Shana could think even deeper after recovering her memory. She stared at Ling Mo and said, "Is it because of me and Ye Lian?" "Well," Ling Mo suddenly looked very serious. "Not exactly. This is my choice. I won't regret it now, and I won't regret it later." The two of them couldn't really understand what Ling Mo said, but they know that they were very important to Ling Mo. "Then, am I considered a girlfriend?" Shana asked seriously. Ling Mo smiled and said, "Of course. You both are." Then, Ye Lian mumbled, "Is there any difference?" After listening to what Ye Lian asked, Ling Mo laughed evilly and grabbed them both toward his chest. "Yeah, a girlfriend needs to do a lot of stuff. Let me teach you, okay?" "No." "Oh, what is this?" "You'll know after you touch it." While the three of them are fooling around, Lin Luanqui, who just took care of the corpse, was standing outside. Hearing the laughter from inside, her hands, which were going to knock on the door, were put down. She showed a sadness on her face. In the morning, Ling Mo took Ye Lian and Shana away. When it became midnight, there was a bit of chaos, but it soon became peaceful afterwards. Seems like Lin Luanqui had everything under control after announcing Wei Jun Yen's death. Ling Mo was thinking of saying goodbye to her, but eventually gave up on that idea. The way Lin Luanqui looked at him always made him feel a bit weird. But there was one thing that Ling Mo definitely knew for sure, was that they both had different ideas. Lin Luanqui wouldn't say more or ask more, and he wouldn't overthink it. That's just the way it was. But before leaving, Ling Mo actually thought it would be nice if they could meet again. What Ling Mo didn't know was that when he went out from the washroom window, Lin Luanqui was standing somewhere else watching him leave. After Ling Mo had landed, he helped Ye Lian and Shana come down as well. While he was trying to help them, he also took the chance to take advantage of them at the same time. Unfortunately, Lin Luanqui also saw what had happened from where she was standing, and her expression changed. She bit her lips and held onto her wrist tightly, but decided to let loose of her wrist afterwards. What an asshole! Although she was saying this, but in her mind she was thinking about if they could ever meet again. With 10 puppets and 2 advanced zombies, Ling Mo's journey to the A1 educational building was quite easy. After killing Wei Jun Yen, Ling Mo thought that he had a better grasp of his spirit powers. It seemed like more practice was required in order to improve his powers. He thought that if relied on only using his tentacles to distract enemies during battle, it might not be enough. His spirit tentacles also had a few weaknesses. For one, they weren't able to constantly distract his enemies, meaning if he met someone with a higher attack frequency, eventually one of those attacks might land on him. When their frequency of attacking was more than the times he could use his spirit tentacles, he would be in great danger. As for Ye Lian and Shana, all they just needed to do was keep evolving. The swimming gym wasn't that far from the A1 educational building. After about half an hour traveling, Ling Mo showed up at the A1 building. The building was really big. The window at the front door was broken, and he could see zombies in the hall. His timing was just too great. At that moment, some of the zombies were fighting with each other. After the experience from last time in the theater, Ling Mo knew that it was probably due to one of the zombies going berserk and triggering the fight. If there were a lot of zombies fighting, maybe all of them would join eventually, since if one of them gets killed, the other zombies would start to eat them. After consuming enough flesh, their virus would upgrade, and they would need more flesh to turn into a stronger zombie with a pure virus. After accumulating enough of the virus, it would eventually condense a virus gel and successfully turn into a mutated zombie. So killing to eliminate the weaker ones was actually a process of evolving for the zombies. Ling Mo looked and felt surprised since there were more than 100 zombies fighting. Those zombies that were wandering outside had also gotten attracted to the fight, although they only just wanted to eat the fresh corpses. Once they got in the hall, they would also become involved in the fight. Battles between zombies would always start fast, but they also end very fast as well. This was because when 2 zombies fought, they would only attack each other's fatal spots without defending themselves. Basically, it was like an all-or-nothing kind of battle. Seeing that the battle was coming to an end, Ling Mo sent his zombie puppets in. His strength should be able to control 10 mutated zombies. If not, at least 5 or 6 would be safe. Since the zombies were halfway from becoming mutated zombies, he should give some help. Losing 10 regular zombies for some mutated zombies was actually a pretty good deal. Seeing 10 of his zombies dashing towards the A1 building, Ling Mo put a creepy smile on his face. These puppets were controlled by him, so he could receive 10 different vision angles. No one can imagine how that feels. Want me to go? Shana held on to her long knife and asked with excitement. The blood-stimulated Ye Lian too. Although they'd been played around with by Ling Mo yesterday, they seemed to be energetic now. Ling Mo suddenly had an evil thought. With their body, they could probably do all kinds of positions, and also for a long time. I just need to find a way to take their virginity. Ling Mo felt that one of his body parts couldn't wait any longer. Sex was a very normal physiological need, Ling Mo thought. Seeing the two of them with their eyes turning red and a very interested expression towards the fight in there, Ling Mo suddenly felt a headache. No, if you two join, those zombies would all be dead. If these two advanced zombies go in, there's no way the zombies inside could stay alive. After controlling the zombies to move into the battlefield, Ling Mo started to look serious. Controlling 10 zombies to fight required a lot of concentration and spirit power. Good thing was Ling Mo's intention from the beginning was to make the fight more intensive and help him push himself to the limit. The 10 zombies made the fight that was going to start again. When Ling Mo controlled one of the zombies to approach a zombie that was currently eating, that zombie quickly attacked the puppet before it could do anything. Good thing was that with Ling Mo's manipulation, the puppet was able to dodge the attack and use its nails to make a cut on the zombie's face, making it bleed. The zombie looked like it wasn't far from evolving since it was ferocious and fast. Since all the puppets were being controlled by Ling Mo, they were much slower than the other zombies. Because of this, the zombie was able to grab the puppet's arm and rip it off. Ling Mo had cold sweats. That was close, he thought. If he hadn't broken the connection with that puppet, he would see himself being ripped apart instead. Although normal zombies wouldn't feel pain, and Ling Mo wouldn't feel the pain either, but still would be hard to look at a zombie ripping him into shreds. The battle started to get heated after Ling Mo used his puppets. Broken limbs, blood, body pieces. It looked like hell. After about 10 minutes, Ling Mo took Ye Lian and Shana in. The hundreds of zombies right now became only 7, and all of them were upgraded to mutated zombies. They all stopped fighting under Ling Mo's control. Going the dirty and bloody hall, Ling Mo started to frown, but Ye Lian and Shana looked excited. Seems like Lin Luanqi's note was quite accurate. There really were a lot of zombies here, probably thousands. More zombies meant more mutated zombies, so there were definitely gels to pick up. Although gels couldn't help them evolve anymore, but it still could be used as Ye Lian and Shana's food. So collecting gels was as important as Ling Mo getting food. While controlling the zombies to move forward, Ling Mo made both of them follow him. Ling Mo wasn't really worried. From the current situation, he could tell that there should mainly be mutated zombies. They shouldn't be able to see any advanced ones. Even if there was, he had 2 of them with him. But what Ling Mo didn't know was that while he was going upstairs, a shadow flashed by on the 2nd floor. Inside the A1 building, there were shadows moving, sort of like mimes, quiet without any sound. This type of atmosphere made it kind of creepy. A zombie that was wandering in the classroom, with one of his arms dropped and the other one suspended on the side of the body, looked very ferocious. Suddenly, it turned its head, stared at the dark hall with its red eyes, and dashed out like a hound. However, while its body was disappearing into the darkness, a bang sound came out. Ling Mo frowned at the body and wiped his sweat off his forehead. Although he had 2 advanced zombies and 7 mutated zombies around him, he still felt that this A1 building was quite tough. It's easy to understand. There were just too many zombies and the environment was way too complicated. Cross hallways and lots of classrooms. These styles of buildings were quite popular lately because it could use the space effectively. Students would get lost, not to mention Ling Mo. The reason there were so many zombies in this section was also because of the building's complex environment. When a disaster happened, who would be able to find the right direction in here? If you paused, you would be caught and get infected or else die. The students' unluckiness offered Ling Mo a perfect hunting field. Although it was quite overwhelming, but within more than 1 hour, Ling Mo had already killed more than 10 zombies and had also gotten some gels. Though the quality wasn't that good, it's still quite a lot. This was already the 5th floor. The number of zombies was less than the other 4 floors. He believed that there were still 1 or 200 zombies here. The sounds of bodies dropping grabbed the attention of a zombie in a classroom. From its outfit, one could tell that it used to be a teacher. White shirt and a skirt, with a collar that was ripped, which made her reveal her breasts, and a red lace bra. One of the heels on its shoes was broken, making walk in a weird way. Body is fine, but that face looks busted. Ling Mo sighed while manipulating a zombie to go on. Normal zombies always seem to look crazy, with their big eyes and mouth opened, the face looking twisted. Even this teacher with a hot body looked scary. When the zombie looked at Ling Mo, the red eyes turned even brighter and it ran fast towards him. But under Ling Mo's control, the mutated zombie had run in front of the teacher zombie and grabbed her arms. The other hand was grabbing her neck. Gatsa! After the sound, the female zombie teacher stopped moving and slowly fell down. Mutated zombies really are strong. Ling Mo looked satisfied. With these 7 zombies, Ling Mo didn't really need to do anything. There were some dangerous times, like when he was being surrounded by more than 10 zombies. But with Ye Lian and Shana, it would turn into a bloody hell. As advanced zombies, Ye Lian and Shana were desperate towards killing. After entering the building, Ye Lian and Shana stood at the front with excitement. If Ling Mo didn't scold them, they might have dashed to the top by themselves. Ling Mo grabbed Shana, who was going to attack, and said, "You two are misbehaving yourselves. Seems like last night's punishment wasn't enough. See how I will punish you too when we leave this place." Ye Lian wanted to fight too, but after listening to what Ling Mo said, she stopped, but she couldn't hide the desperation on her face. This really bothered Ling Mo a lot since now they resemble more like humans, but their instinct as a zombie was stronger. Good thing was that they would still listen to him. After the female zombie got defeated, more than 10 zombies dashed out of the classroom, but all got blocked by Ling Mo's mutated zombies and were then killed. To Ling Mo's surprise, there was a mutated zombie that had evolved to a certain level. Being blocked by the zombies from the front, the mutated zombie jumped on a table and then jumped on those zombies' head. The vertical leap was amazing, but it's a shame that the height of classroom wasn't that big to begin with. Distracted by Ling Mo's tentacle, the unlucky zombie bumped to the roof of the floor and fell on the ground full of blood. The mutated zombie got ripped to pieces by Ling Mo's puppets. Ling Mo controlled the zombies to take out the gels and then give it to him. Nearly 20 of them. This could last for 20 days, I guess. Previously, in order to let them evolve, Ling Mo tried to let them eat as much gels as they possibly could, but right now gels were just food to them, so they don't need to eat as much. But if they had fought too much, they would need more to restore their stamina. It wasn't easy to find a place where a lot of zombies gathered together like this, so Ling Mo decided to kill all the mutated zombies before leaving. After killing all the zombies, Ling Mo controlled the puppets to walk. Ye Lian and Shana walked towards the front with excitement. Ling Mo was going to tell them to walk slower, but since they've been suppressing their need to fight for a while, if he didn't let them even watch the fights, they might get upset. Thinking to this point, Ling Mo smiled bitterly. Suddenly at that moment, Ling Mo felt a chill on his back, as if he was being followed by someone. What's going on? He stopped and looked back, but there were only zombie bodies in the dark hall. An illusion? Ling Mo was paranoid because it felt very real, but if it was a zombie, it would have dashed out. But if it's a human, how could it possibly stay there safely and peep at me? Probably just an illusion. But just when Ling Mo turned his head, a dark shadow popped out and grabbed Ling Mo's back collar. Ling Mo was shocked, but before he could react, the shadow had pulled him into an office. Brother Ling, Ye Lian and Shana looked back. Although Ling Mo wasn't fast enough to contact them with spirit connection, the sound still caught their attention. The two advanced zombies dashed to the door, but the door was actually quite firm, so they couldn't break it open. The dark shadow was very fast and very strong. Ling Mo was pressed on a desk and couldn't get loose. Seeing the dark shadow's face getting near him, Ling Mo kept shooting out his tentacles to stop it. As the face was getting closer to him, Ling Mo could see how it looked like from the dim light. Ling Mo was surprised. "Li Ling. Sister Li Ling." Even though her hair blocked half of her face and her face was pale, Ling Mo could still recognize her. She was an upperclassman in Ling Mo's high school, a very arrogant yet excellent student. But he didn't have much contact with her. Afterwards, he only heard that she went to X City University and chose to stay at school, but he never thought that he will meet her under this kind of situation. Ye Ling's eyes were rose red and cold. Only advanced zombies look like this. TL. So this chapter was a bit hard to translate, since it was a lot of fighting scenes and explanations. Let me know if you don't understand something. Although it was kind of dark, but in such a close distance, Ling Mo could clearly see her facial features. Although she was a senior from his high school, Ling Mo didn't remember much about her. That happens sometimes, even if you didn't have much of an impression of someone, but once you saw them, you would remember them. Especially in this type of situation. Ye Ling had clear-cut facial features, looked like she was sort of mixed, TL. Mixed child, if you don't know what that means, Google it, LOL. Her skin looked pale white, probably because she wasn't exposed under the sun for a long time. Her thin long eyes made her look very foxy. She was also very tall, even taller than Ye Lian. From Ling Mo's memory, she was a very arrogant girl. But what she was like before had nothing to do with how she was like right now after she became an advanced zombie. Ling Mo could tell that based on Ye Lian and Shana. Instead of recovering sanity, they had their own sanity as a zombie each time they evolved. Although they have their human memories, but the way they think and deal with things were very different than humans. Those were zombie instincts. They would have their human memory, but with a zombie mindset. Ye Ling was now pressing Ling Mo onto the desk. A strong smell of blood flowed to his nose. He didn't feel happy at all with this reunion. Instead, he felt a bit upset, even though they had knew each other before. But this advanced zombie doesn't know him now. She seemed to want to eat Ling Mo. Ling Mo couldn't tell when she had started to stalk them, but he thought that Ye Ling decided to take action because she probably thought he was the weakest, and he was finally separated when the zombie girls went ahead of him. As an advanced zombie, she showed that she had a very high IQ, not only waiting for a good chance to launch an attack, but also grabbing Ling Mo into this closed space. Right now, Ye Lian and Shana were trying to break through the door, but Ye Ling didn't seem to be bothered. She pressed Ling Mo on the desk and was preparing to eat him. Ling Mo was much weaker than her in terms of strength, but he at least had his puppet skills. While using the tentacles to distract her, he put his hands on her towering breasts, so she couldn't keep pressing onto him. The breasts were changing shapes under Ling Mo's hands, but Ling Mo didn't feel excited at all, because if he wasn't careful now, he might be dead at any time. From Ye Ling's bright spirit ball, Ling Mo could tell that she was a very advanced zombie, nearly the same as Ye Lian. Was it going to be easy for Ling Mo to control her? It's actually hard for Ling Mo to control an advanced zombie right now, because advanced zombies have high intelligence and wouldn't be that easily controlled. The reason why he could easily control Ye Lian and Shana was because he had already established a spirit connection with the two of them when they were both still mutated zombies. When they evolved, the connection between them actually got even stronger. Right now, he didn't even really need to control them because they were kind of merged together. Ye Ling was different. This was the first time she had felt her mind getting invaded by the spirit tentacles, causing her to feel a stabbing pain, which in turn made her have strong will to resist it. From Ling Mo's angle, Ye Ling's bright spirit ball waved crazily, and the tentacle he had just used to grab the spirit ball in order to control her was immediately pushed away. The stimulation made Ye Ling even crazier. If Ling Mo didn't fight hard, he might have been bit on the neck already. Ye Ling seemed to be pissed. Although her hand was being held back by one of Ling Mo's hands, and her towering womanly parts were being grabbed tightly by Ling Mo's other hand, as an advanced zombie, her way of attacking wouldn't be that simple like normal zombies. She lifted her legs and used her knees to press onto Ling Mo's leg. The strong power gave Ling Mo a sudden chill, and his arms lost some of its strength. Ling seized the opportunity and pressed down. Her face was practically next to Ling Mo's face. Seeing Ling Mo's sharp nose in front of her, she tried to bite it. Damn it, don't do this to me. Ling Mo began having a headache. He immediately shot out his spirit tentacles and exploded his power, grabbed harder with his hands, and lifted his legs to push her from the belly. Ling missed the bite, but she licked the tip of his nose, and some of her saliva flowed down to his mouth. Although he couldn't completely control her yet, he could at least make her space out for a bit. After distracting her, he took the chance to push her off and got released from her grapple. After breaking free, he looked at the door immediately. Since he was attacked so suddenly, his knife had been knocked away from his grasp, which made him only able to play on the defensive. Ling was dizzy for a bit, but got totally awakened after being pushed. She stared at Ling Mo with her red eyes. They were standing in front of each other with less than 3 meters. The atmosphere became very intensive. Ling Mo looked at her and then the knife on the floor, thinking, "Come on, we are from the same school. How could you attack me?" But she seemed to realize his intention. She moved quickly and was ready to take the knife. Ling Mo was shocked. That's fucking cheating. Without the knife, how am I supposed to fight her? He shoot out his tentacles again to distract her again. Her moves started stagnated. Ling Mo seized the opportunity and flew past her to take the knife. This was actually a very dangerous move. If he was any bit slower or if he had hesitated, he would have been captured by Ye Ling. Ling Mo's decisive personality and ability to make quick decisions really helped him at this very crucial moment to take the knife. At the same time, Ye Ling pulled herself together again, but before she made any moves, Ling Mo had already turned around and slashed toward her neck. But Ye Ling was a highly advanced zombie, even though Ling Mo was already very fast, but it was still a bit too slow in front of her. Ye Ling stepped back. The knife cut through some of her hair and a thin layer of skin, leaving a cut. At the same time, the door has finally been bumped open. Ye Lian and Shana's eyes were fully red already. They charged and slashed hard onto Ye Ling. But the moment they got in, Ye Ling had already backed off. When they started to attack, she was already at the window and had decided to retreat by jumping out the window. Jumping out the window again? Ling Mo was shocked and dashed to the door. Suddenly, he paused. Ye Ling actually jumped on an air conditioner first and then leaped toward the window at the bottom floor. Only zombies had the courage to do something like this. From this, he could tell that Ye Ling was already pretty smart. They probably wouldn't be fast enough to catch her, since she moves too fast, and so far, she's the only advanced zombie so far that has the habit of hiding. She probably won't show up anymore, since she almost got killed by Ling Mo. Ling Mo still felt a bit scared, but he escaped after all. After this incident, he had no interest in hunting mutated zombies anymore. No need to go to the other building. We already have this many gels. Time to leave this university, Ling Mo thought. Shana and Ye Lian looked out. Their eyes looked cold. A zombie captured Ling Mo under their watch and locked them outside. This really awoke their bloodthirsty zombie instinct. Right now, standing beside them, Ling Mo felt a chill. Guess this is the so-called murderous look. Are you okay, Brother Ling? Ye Lian looked down and then turned her head to look at him. She had looked that flashed with a sign of caring. Even though he wasn't hurt, he still got a bit scared. This was the first time he really fought with his own body and nothing else. Usually, he had his mutated zombies fight with him to help him in battle. This time was all him. First time actually fighting mutated zombies was actually a pretty good experience. Thinking to this point, he rubbed her head and said, "Don't worry, I'm fine." Shana sniffed and nodded with relief. Although there are some bloody smells, at least it's not yours. Ling Mo felt a chill. He couldn't believe that she still remembered how his blood smelled like. After being defeated, Ye Ling didn't come back. Ling Mo didn't see her on the way back downstairs. Advanced zombies were very strong, but even if they were strong, it wouldn't be easy to attack Ling Mo anymore, since he was now aware of how strong and intelligent they really were. On the other hand, it was also going to be hard for Ling Mo if he had wanted to capture Ye Ling in such a complex environment. So after contemplating for some time, Ling Mo gave up on looking for her and took Ye Lian and Shana to leave the building. Most of the mutated zombies in the building had already been killed by Ling Mo, so he wasn't really interested in the rest of them. Although Lin Luanqi's notes contained mainly the outline of the central area, she had also noted a few paths to get out of the school area. After doing some research on the map, They finally decided to leave the school area by heading to the front entrance of the school area. To Ling Mo's surprise, when Ye Lian had taken a look at the map, she said with some hesitation, "I think I remember this place and how to leave." Really? Ling Mo smiled with surprise. Seems like Ye Lian was slowly recovering her memory. Her memories were probably being triggered while they were in the school area. Yes. Ye Lian looked up and nodded. Ling Mo could tell based from Shana's situation that it actually didn't really matter if Ye Lian recovered her memory or not. Even if they recovered all their memory, they were still zombies. This fact wouldn't change. To Ling Mo, no matter what Ye Lian was right now, she was still that thoughtful and tender girl he knew. Ling Mo doesn't wish for that memory of her to disappear. With Ye Lian's advice, they reached the front entrance immediately. They were fast in reaching the front entrance due to the A1 building being located already close to the entrance of the school area. Not to mention, they also had mutated zombies to help clear the way. So even though there were zombies on the way, it didn't cause any problems. But controlling the mutated zombies to help clear the way made Ling Mo use a lot of spirit power. When they had seen the front entrance from far away, Ling Mo's hair was already wet and he had started to have waves of pain on his temples. Due to controlling all these mutated zombies, he became short of spirit power. So after getting to the entrance and reaching a relatively safe area, Ling Mo let the two zombie girls kill all his puppets. They've been waiting for this chance to kill for so long. Both of them were really excited. After killing them so easily as if they were cutting vegetables, Ling Mo got more zombie gels. The quality, so far, pretty good. Seems like it is easier for mutated zombies to evolve from zombies, but for advanced zombies to evolve from mutated ones it was much harder. Although there were over 30,000 zombies in the area, I have only met 3 advanced zombies, and I even know one of them. Even though X City University was really big, if you were active in this area for a long time, you would eventually bump into someone you know. Obviously, you would only want to see survivors that you knew rather than someone who had become a zombie. But the possibility of that would be really low since zombies were the majority in the school. Ya Ling was the first zombie acquaintance that he met. As for Ye Lian, it didn't really count since he had intended to find her from the start. It should have been a nice experience to see someone you haven't seen for a long time, but that wasn't the case for Ling Mo and Ya Ling. Ling Mo didn't hold back when he faced Ya Ling. If she had been just a bit slower, she would have become a headless zombie. But Ling Mo thought that this outcome was fine too. Even though she was a zombie now, she was still someone he knew from the past, so he actually didn't bother thinking of taking his gel. This was also another reason why he didn't bother trying to capture her. Outside of the entrance was a wide path, which used to be a very popular area. Besides the X City University, there was also a theater diagonally across the school. There should also be a lot of zombies in there. The 3 of them were standing at a secluded alley with zombie corpses all around them. It's sort of late now. Let's find a place to stay for the night, Ling Mo said while putting the last gel into his pocket. Ye Lian and Shana were wiping their knives. The current scene looked really scary. There were even zombies that were cut in half. If Ling Mo wasn't used to the smell of blood already, he might have already passed out. Right before Ling Mo was going to say something, Shana suddenly said, "My knife isn't going to work anymore now." Her voice seemed kind of weird. It looked as if she was sad, but she didn't know how to express it. Probably as a zombie, she didn't have those type of emotions, but she still remembered that this knife was really important to her. Ling Mo was shocked and looked at the knife. She had used the knife to block an attack, so it got a cut on it. As the fights increased, the cut got larger and larger. It looked like it would break at any time. It was a very good knife, but since it was used frequently and wasn't well maintained, it became what it was now. Shana's fighting strength would rapidly decrease if she loses her weapon. The reason why she was so powerful was because her skills at using a knife was good, especially after she had recovered her memories. Ling Mo seemed a bit sad after seeing the knife. Even though he remembered that there were still some knives at the Wong family knife store, they weren't as great as her current one, so it wouldn't be worth the journey to go all the way there. Shana looked at the cut on her knife and turned towards Ling Mo. "Let's head to my house tomorrow, and we can see if there's any weapon suitable for you." Oh yeah, Shana's family should have those kind of things at home as well. Ling Mo looked at his knife. It was actually a bit too short. It was fine if he used it to fight the zombies one by one, but the disadvantages would quickly be exposed when he became surrounded. It was very risky for a human to fight zombies, since just one little scratch from a zombie could cause an infection. Although Ling Mo had his spirit tentacles and a ton of experience, he was still actually always very careful when he fought with a zombie. It would really help him if he had a better weapon. Ye Lian had a really good weapon, which seemed to be in good condition still so far. "Where's your place? You have never mentioned it before," Ling Mo asked. Shana had a special look in her eyes. Even though she became a mutated zombie, she didn't feel sad when it came to talking about her family, since zombies didn't have emotional feelings. At a small area on East Main Street in 100 Flower District. 100 Flower District? Isn't that kind of far? I guess we will need to go since your weapon is almost broken. Ling Mo nodded and then asked, "Did you go back before?" Obviously, Shana smiled at Ling Mo and then added, "Or did you think I brought my knife with me to school every day?" Then in your home. If Shana wasn't already a zombie, Ling Mo definitely wouldn't have asked her this, but since she was right now and couldn't feel sad, it didn't matter if he asked or not. After all, the relationship Ling Mo and her had was different than the one Ling Mo had with Ye Lian. Ling Mo didn't actually know much about Shana. They had only established their relationship after she had mutated. Ling Mo didn't really actually care about what had happened to her before, but now he was interested. Shana paused, and then shook her head. I'm not really sure. When I went back home, nobody was there. There were also no corpses, so probably. Okay. If it's like that, then let's go to your house tomorrow. It's late now, so let's find a place to stay. Ling Mo interrupted her, because he didn't want to hear the chance of her saying, probably they got eaten, with a cold voice. While the three of them were talking, a tall shadow was standing behind a telephone pole, staring at Ling Mo with its red eyes. From the look of her eyes, she seemed to be a bit puzzled. At the same time, her right hand was covering her neck to hide a cut that was there. After opening the gate, Ling Mo slowly went through, holding tightly onto his knife. There weren't a lot of homes nearby X City University. Ling Mo finally found a hotel when the sky was almost dark. Just like some red light districts, the hotels here were provided for people from X City University to let them enjoy their night. There were several zombies in the alley near the hotel, and there was even a female zombie with only a robe on her, but the robe was already ripped, so it couldn't really hide anything. When the female zombie charged towards him with a half-naked body, Ling Mo couldn't help but give her a weird look. Ling Mo sighed. I have never had a chance to see such big boobs up so close. Since the zombies were not coming toward him in groups, he could handle them easily without Ye Lian and Shana's help. Unfortunately, the two zombie girls didn't want to behave, and so when they got the chance, they would run in front of Ling Mo and start fighting. Sometimes when Ling Mo was fighting a zombie, they would come up to make the last hit in order to kill the zombie Ling Mo was about to kill. Kill stealing became Ye Lian and Shana's interest. Instead of just battling, they were also having fun. After becoming advanced zombies, normal zombies were of no threat to them, so it wasn't weird for them to behave like this. Ling Mo could only bitterly smile. When they arrived at the hotel, Ling Mo went in first. From his experience, there shouldn't be a lot of zombies in the hotel, because survivors wouldn't go there in the first place, and the zombies that were already there would have to go out to find other zombies to eat if they were hungry. Gutsa! Ling Mo had stepped on a piece of glass as he went in, making a loud, crispy sound throughout the silent stairway. Art! A roar came out. A skinny zombie dashed out from the first floor with dirty things and blood covering it. The zombie was aggressive, but Ling Mo looked very calm. He released his spirit tentacles, and the zombie became stupefied. The moment the zombie paused, Ling Mo's knife had already stabbed through its heart. He twisted his wrist, and then killed it. Ling Mo pulled out the knife and dodged the blood that came out of the body at the same time. Putain! The zombie dropped to the ground. Ling Mo stepped over him and moved forward. Ye Lian and Shana followed him and went up. So it was just as Ling Mo had thought. It was relatively safe in here, since that was the only zombie in the hotel. While he was checking the hotel, he saw half of a dog's corpse lying on the ground. The reason why it was only half was because there was only skin left. The flesh had completely disappeared from the corpse. Ling Mo predicted that it was eaten by the zombie that he had just killed. Humans were usually a zombie's #1 choice for a meal. If they were starving, they would then resort to eating other living beings. Ling Mo could tell from the rat that he saw before. Small animals couldn't handle the virus. Even if they got infected, they would just die and turn rotten, so it wouldn't harm the human race. The dog proved Ling Mo's theory, which made him feel a bit relieved. Although big animals were able to tolerate the virus, there weren't many big animals in the big cities. Even if there were some, they would most probably be hunted down by zombies to be eaten. And for those that weren't hunted and had survived, the amount of those animals would be so little that he shouldn't even bother worrying about it. On the hand, the evolution of the zombie race was extremely fast. Inside the huge X City University, there were already probably some zombies that had evolved further than an advanced zombie. The intelligent advanced zombies were already very hard to defeat. Ling Mo can't really imagine how hard it would be to defeat those zombies that were even more powerful than an advanced zombie. Standing here, just thinking about it, didn't help. The only thing he could do was prepare himself by improving his strength for himself and the zombie girls. As long as they were strong enough, they wouldn't need to worry about which kind of zombie they bumped into. This room looks interesting. Shana's sound came from a room. Ling Mo followed the voice and went over. He became surprised when he went in. Couldn't believe that this small hotel had this kind of stuff. A swing bed was in the room that had a wallpaper that contained roses and a picture of a boy and girl hugging each other. After looking at the picture for some time, Ling Mo felt a sudden heat near his belly. Seems like his desperation had reached a certain point. Just a small picture turned him on now. In the past, even pornography was hard to turn him on. Ling Mo coughed and was going to tell Shana to come out, but Ye Lian went in out of curiosity. Sister Ye Lian, come and sit here. Shana grabbed Ye Lian and pushed her onto the swing bed. The bed started to swing and shake, which gave her a pleasant time. And then, she didn't want to come down. This made Shana also curious, and then both of them rolled together on the bed and turned the swing bed into a bed. Ling Mo spent a bit of time to enjoy looking at this semi-erotic scene. Unfortunately, he had to check the hotel, so he had to leave them here and go on checking. Don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. After reminding them, Ling Mo took out his knife and headed to the 3rd floor. Although he was pretty sure that there were no more zombies here, but being careful was one of his key points in surviving. From the experience of being attacked by Ya Ling, Ling Mo realized that if the zombies' level was the same or higher than Ye Lian or Shana, the zombie girls wouldn't be able to detect where that zombie was. There could be also another explanation for this, but so far he thinks this might be the most probable one. These theories could only be proven after more experiences, but those experiences were the ones that Ling Mo would never wish to experience again. While thinking, Ling Mo reached the third floor. The third floor was a warehouse with a lot of paper boxes. To Ling Mo's surprise, there were a lot of things in the boxes. There were even some snacks, drinks, and cigarettes. Most of them were still edible. The hotel seemed to also have a storage office, or else there wouldn't be that much food. What good luck! Ling Mo excitedly took the food from the box. The food he had saved from school before was almost finished. He was planning on collecting more food on the way to Shana's home. But to his surprise, he didn't think that he would find some over here. Since he found food already, he wouldn't need to make a stop and could go directly to Shana's house. Although all production had been paused due to the apocalypse, the amount of survivors were less than zombies, so currently it wasn't really hard to find edible food in the city. In order to find food, though, one must have the ability to find it. Most survivors wouldn't come to a place like this to find food. Just when Ling Mo was stuffing the items into his bag, he somehow saw a shadow flash by. Although it was just for a second, it freaked Ling Mo out. He immediately put down his bag and stood up with his knife and turned to the direction where the shadow appeared. In the extremely quiet warehouse, there was only the sound of the food he collected sliding on the floor. Who is it? Ling Mo roared with a low voice. Although he didn't actually see it properly, Ling Mo was sure that it wasn't an illusion. A survivor? No, there were zombies here, so there shouldn't be any survivors here. Nobody answered. He held on tighter to his knife and headed out. The moment he walked out, a person appeared at the door. The moment Ling Mo realized who it was, he paused and thought, God damn it, are you fucking following me for revenge? The one who was blocking the way at the door was the advanced zombie he had met at X City University, Ya Ling. She was carrying a wooden stick this time. Apparently, after being defeated last time, she decided to bring a weapon. This was such a smart zombie. She chose a time when he was all alone. Ling Mo used his spirit connection to contact Ye Lian and Shana right away, since there was definitely no way he could beat Ye Ling on his own. Just when Ling Mo had started to look at her with caution, Ye Ling started to talk. What? The words that came out of Ye Ling's mouth shocked Ling Mo. What the fuck was going on? The moment Ling Mo saw her, he had already become really cautious. He was prepared to have another close combat fight with this advanced zombie. But never in his dream would he ever have thought that she would just suddenly talk under this kind of situation. It didn't seem like she was going to attack. Unlike last time, Ling Mo was looking at her in a bright place, so he could clearly see how she looked like right now. She was wearing some sportswear, but it was so dirty that you couldn't even tell what was the original color. Her hair was stuck together with blood, which had already covered half of her face. But due to her delicate face and tall body, she didn't look so scary. In fact, she could probably pass off as a female survivor. If he didn't almost get killed by her, Ling Mo might not have realized it. Maybe she is harmless. Oh hell no. What the fuck am I thinking? Bullshits, she's harmless. I almost just got eaten by her like a chicken leg. Maybe she would probably think I taste like chicken after she eats me. The memory of almost getting killed by her took Ling Mo back to reality. While cursing inside his head, he suspiciously looked at her. Although she didn't seem like she wanted to attack him, he still needed to be careful of her since she was an advanced zombie. Advanced zombies were extremely fast and agile. It would make complete sense that Ling Mo knew Ye Ling since she was very popular at school, but it didn't make any sense for Ye Ling to know about Ling Mo. After hearing what Ye Ling said, Ling Mo's first thought was, is this bullshit? But on second thought, Ye Ling was famous for her 3 highs, which were high body, tall, high IQ, and high standards. Maybe she saw him once and had remembered him. But it looks like she only knew that she knows him, but she doesn't know his name or anything about him, so she might not even know how close they were before. In other words, she only had a tiny memory about Ling Mo. Too bad, no matter how smart she was in the past, she would need to restart everything once she became a zombie. Ordinary zombies were basically just like embryos without any consciousness. It was just that these embryos were so strong that they could possibly destroy the human race. Of course, this was only regarding towards strength, speed, and power. Humans obviously would still have different ways of surviving as long as they weren't retarded. If humans couldn't use strength, speed, or power to defeat them, then their only other choice was to use the environment or weapons to defeat the zombies. As for mutated zombies, they were like the embryos that had started to bud, and after evolving to an advanced zombie, that was when they had the ability to think. Based on the current situation right now, Ye Ling had already evolved to an advanced zombie and also had recovered some of her memory from the time she was a human. She might have remembered something when she attacked Ling Mo. Ling Mo thought that this might be the reason why she was after him instead of her wanting to eat him. After all, he was just a human. Human flesh for advanced zombies weren't that tasty as mutated zombies. I wouldn't taste so good that an advanced zombie would want to come after me that bad, Ling Mo seriously thought. But this time she was smarter. Instead of attacking him immediately, she was instead in a defensive position. Apparently she was afraid of Ye Lian and Shana showing up, so she chose to only show up when Ling Mo was on his own. Ye Ling could definitely win if it's one-on-one, but if the 2 zombie girls were there to help, it wouldn't be hard for Ling Mo to kill her. While talking to Ling Mo, Ye Ling had been blocking the door with a wooden stick in a defensive position. She somehow saw Ling Mo's short knife and frowned. That was the knife that had almost killed her. Seeing it the second time made her nervous. I remember you. Ye Ling looked at Ling Mo and slowly squeezed out the words. She either never talked after evolving, or she didn't recover enough memory, so it took her a long time to talk. Ling Mo became a bit impatient after listening to her. Ling Mo felt a bit more relaxed, though, since she wasn't going to eat him, he didn't need to be scared. Do you remember who you are? Ling Mo thought and asked. Ya Ling looked confused, and then she shook her head and scratched her head. Ya Ling, Ya Ling. Remember? Ling Mo sighed and kept asking. After hinting by Ling Mo, Ya Ling suddenly realized, yes, Ya Ling. It's me. And then she looked at Ling Mo suspiciously and asked, I don't remember your... It's okay. I know what you were going to say. You don't know my name. That is normal because we weren't even close in the past. Ling felt a bit frustrated with the language obstacle. If she had more time to communicate with people, she might have talked a lot better. But as an advanced zombie, she probably killed anyone she saw, so that was unlikely. The reason why she could talk with Ling Mo was because she somehow remembered him, and she was also kind of afraid of him. After listening to what Ling Mo said, she became silent. But you could tell from her eyes that after recovering some of her memories, she became very curious. Of course, she was also very curious about this Ling Mo in front of her. But right at this moment, she suddenly turned her head. Two people appeared, which caught her by surprise. Even though she quickly reacted to the attack and used her stick to block the attack, but how the hell could a wooden stick block a knife? The lack of common sense was the advanced zombie's biggest disadvantage. The wooden stick was broken and two cold beams of light slashed towards her head. Unfortunately, it wasn't that easy to kill an advanced zombie. Even though the weapon couldn't block the attack, she quickly used her nails on the wall to make herself leap in order to dodge the attack. Bang! The wall was pulled down by Ya Ling, making the warehouse become full of white dust. This scene completely shocked Ling Mo. He had been trying to buy more time until the both of them came in order to attack Ya Ling, but he didn't realize she was so powerful. Based on what just happened, she was even more advanced than Ye Lian. That's fucking overpowered. Ling Mo looked at the place that used to have a wall with disbelief. Based on the finger holes on the walls, probably only the two zombies in Peace Theater could probably fight her in terms of strength. More importantly, she was fast, and she also showed high intelligence since most advanced zombies wouldn't think of this way to dodge an attack. Ya Ling seemed pissed, but after Ye Lian and Shana missed their attack, they cornered her to the other wall immediately. Ling Mo was holding onto his knife with his spirit tentacles ready. Although one of the reasons he was talking to her was to reminisce, but the main reason was to buy time. Even though Ya Ling was fast, it was still hard to defeat two others by herself. When she was going to charge, Ling Mo's tentacle affected her. Although it only lasted for less than 1 second, it was enough for Ye Lian and Shana. Bang! Shana quickly used her knife handle to hit Ya Ling's head from the back, making her pass out instantly. This powerful zombie has been captured. Seeing that Ya Ling was knocked out, Ling Mo rubbed his hands and went over to see how she was. Shana didn't hold back at all. Although she had used the knife handle to hit her, she had used it with a lot of force, making Ya Ling's head bleed. It was no wonder that she didn't even have the time to struggle before passing out. Ling Mo was kneeling beside Ya Ling when suddenly, Shana's knife flashed in front of Ling Mo's eyes. She was using the knife to point at Ya Ling's brain and said, "Let me dig into her brain. You're a girl. Stop being so needy and trying to get other people's brain all the time." Ling Mo pushed away Shana's knife and then started to search Ya Ling's body. Ye Lian looked at Ling Mo with curiosity and asked, "What are you doing, brother Ling?" "I'm checking to see what she has on her." "Here it is," Ling Mo answered. Ling Mo found a wallet from her pocket and then opened it. There was an ID card, ex-City University work permit, and several bank cards. Everything was covered with blood stains. Apparently, she had taken them out to look at it when she had recovered some of her memories. She didn't throw them away, but it seems like she didn't know that the person on the ID card was herself, or that she had no ideas what the words on card meant. Who knew what she knew? For some reason, Ling Mo felt a bit sad after seeing these things. As an ordinary zombie, they would just only wander on around the streets and search for food. But for advanced zombies, they would recover a bit of their memory, and most probably start wondering, who am I? This actually makes perfect sense, since if a person really lost their memory, the first thing they would want to know after being conscious is to figure out who they were. Although advanced zombies think a bit differently than humans, they would also be a bit curious about themselves. Ye Lian and Shana didn't have this kind of problem, since Ling Mo was around to remind them. As for the two advanced zombies from Peace Theater, no one knows if they really cared about their previous selves or not. Ya Ling was by far the smartest advanced zombie Ling Mo has ever seen. She was very eager to gain self-consciousness, and she saw the hope of getting her questions answered through Ling Mo. Although it was quite ridiculous for a human to sympathize with a zombie, Ling Mo was always with zombies, so the way he thought about zombies was a bit different than other people. Most people would regard zombies as cruel beings, but from Ling Mo's perspective, they were just a brand new race to him. It was just that this brand new race was at higher level in the food chain than humans. Ling Mo found a picture from the wallet, and he felt extremely surprised. The picture was taken in a place right outside the classroom Ling Mo used to be in. Ya Ling was standing with a girl in the picture. There was also an ordinary boy walking out of the classroom. That boy was Ling Mo. No wonder she had an impression of him. There wasn't any big changes towards Ling Mo's looks. He only just looked a little bit more mature now. Ling Mo sighed. What a coincidence. Ling Mo was hesitant on how to deal with Ya Ling now. She wasn't going to get up anytime soon. After all, he knew her. So Ling Mo wasn't ruthless enough to dig into her brain. Plus, the reason for her coming here wasn't for her to eat him. Ling Mo started to think that life would be much easier if he could just control her as a zombie puppet. But with his current ability right now, there would be a possibility of two worst-case scenarios. One would be where Ling Mo gets completely exhausted and risk losing the control of Ye Lian and Shana. The other possibility would be where Ye Ling loses her ability to think and becomes an idiot. But hey, it's worth a try since she has already passed out. So Ling Mo decided to try and control Ye Ling. It wasn't Ling Mo's style to just leave her there. Who knew if she would try to cause him any problems after she woke up? Although she wasn't thinking about eating Ling Mo before, she might hold grudge still since she was knocked out. That brain. Shana held onto her knife and stared at Ye Ling's head with her red eyes. Could we stop thinking about that brain right now? Let me do something first, Ling Mo said with resignation. After shooting out his spirit tentacles, the way Ye Ling looked changed. Her bright spirit ball looked a bit blurry, but Ling Mo could tell from it that she recovered a lot of her consciousness. But the spirit waves seemed to be a bit weaker after she had passed out. He could really give it a try now and try to control her. Ling Mo carefully moved his spirit tentacles to reach Ye Ling's spirit ball, and then carefully looked for a weaker part of the ball so he could break into it. There was only one chance to do this. Ling Mo was completely immersed with concentration. The spirit tentacles were like antennas, looking for the best opportunity. Bouncing back, bouncing back. Ye Ling's conscience was fighting back deep inside, giving Ling Mo a very hard time. After just 1 minute, Ling Mo had sweat all over his body. Ye Lian and Shana felt worried because they didn't know what was going on and that Ling Mo's face had all of a sudden started to turn pale and covered in sweat. Ye Lian hesitated and wiped out his sweat for him. Ling Mo felt like his temples were almost about to explode after a few minutes. The immense pain made him feel like the skin from his head was being peeled off. Ironically, this made Ling Mo want it even more. If he couldn't even control a zombie that had passed out, what was the point of him practicing previously? If he failed now, it meant that all his previous efforts of training himself was useless. Ling Mo was not the type to give up. In the beginning, Ling Mo was thinking of digging her brain out if it didn't work, but after realizing that it was so challenging, his competitiveness rose, and he really wanted to be able to control her. He wanted to win. If there are no weaknesses, I will just have to look harder for one. Ling Mo was totally in the zone now. In his eyes and mind, there was only the spirit ball. Although he was in high spirits, he still had to be very careful while he was using his tentacles. This was Ling Mo's strongest trait. He was always still very careful, even when he was excited or amped up. The apocalypse forced him to be always on his toes and cautious of everything. But after attaining his superpowers, it pushed him to take risks. After about 10 minutes, he had finally found a gap where he could enter into the spirit ball. Ling Mo immediately used the spirit tentacles to enter the gap in order to enter the ball. When the tentacles entered, Ye Ling kept resisting. A couple of minutes flew by before Ling Mo finally exhaled and let go before sitting on the ground. Ye Lian and Shana helped him up and wiped his sweat. "Are you okay, Brother Ling?" asked Shana. Even though she was usually cruel, she still cared about Ling Mo. Ye Lian also looked a bit worried because she had never seen Ling Mo with such a pale face. Ling Mo had actually almost passed out. Controlling an advanced zombie was really hard. But the benefit for succeeding was a very powerful helper since Ye Ling was strong. This was also a good chance to test himself to see how good he currently was. Although it was quite risky, it pushed him to reach another level. Of course, he didn't have time to think about this, since now all he wanted to do was sleep. After Ye Ling wakes up from being knocked out, she would realize that she had a connection with him. Once the connection was established, it would be very risky for her to break the connection since it could hurt her ability to think, making her stupid. But it would be an entirely different story if Ling Mo was too tired. After helping Ling Mo up, Shana looked at Ye Ling. The second Ling Mo took control of Ye Ling. Shana and Ye Lian felt something familiar about her. "What do we do with her?" Shana asked. Ling Mo rubbed his eyebrows and said, "Anything as long as you don't dig her brains." "Oh." Shana's tone of voice seemed peaceful, but the way she looked at Ye Ling was a bit creepy. What a headache. It was already midnight when Ling Mo woke up. He slightly shook his dizzy head and sat up. He almost fell off the swing bed while it was shaking. What a shitty bed. He held on a rope and jumped off the bed. He used the moonlight to look for his socks and shoes. He could feel that the other 3 zombies were in the other room with his spirit connection. He wanted to change his point of view and see if the girls were at peace with each other, but he had used too much power in controlling Ye Ling before and began to feel a bit dizzy, so he gave up. Those 2 girls wouldn't be doing something stupid, would they? Although he could feel that Ye Lian and Shana were hostile to Ye Ling, they were indirectly connected to each other, so they shouldn't be fighting. They were hostile due to Ye Ling dragging Ling Mo away under their watch before. Advanced zombies already have their own emotional feelings, especially when it came to love and hate. This was also one of the reasons why Shana had wanted to dig her brain out. Ling Mo had to rest after making the connection, so he was pretty sure Ye Ling's head injury hadn't been treated. Advanced zombies already heal pretty fast, but since it was on the back of the head near the brain, Ling Mo thought that he should at least check out the wound since he was awake. Ling Mo took out a sterilized medical ointment from his bag and then walked out of the room. The room on the other side was opened. Apparently they weren't afraid of ordinary zombies walking in. When Ling Mo went in, he suddenly had a feeling, why am I the weakest among all of them? This was definitely not okay. Ye Lian and Shana are girls I'm going to dominate in the future. I should be on top. If I'm not strong enough, I will be at the bottom instead. As for Ye Ling, Ling Mo only sees her as a powerful puppet, nothing more. When he went inside the room, Ling Mo didn't see anyone at all. Just when he was trying to figure out why, he heard something coming from the bathroom. What the hell is going on? Ling Mo rubbed his temples, approached the bathroom, and opened the door. Although this hotel was pretty remote, it probably still made a lot of money since the interior design was pretty good. The bathroom was huge, and the design setting was romantic. There was a sink in front of the door and a glass wall. The glass wall was transparent, so your vision wouldn't be blocked, making it a bit interesting. Although this place was very dark at that moment, Ling Mo was already used to the dark by now. He could see some of the things that was in here. But Ling Mo was in for a surprise the moment he opened the door. Behind the glass wall were 3 white shadows of different body types, but all of them had their own good traits. After evolving to advanced zombies, their bodies became somewhat hot and seductive. They didn't have muscles, but instead had tight thighs and curvy bodies that contained a wild sexiness. All 3 of them had different features. One of them was tall and skinny. That's apparently Ye Lian. The other one had a flat chest. The one that had a chest so flat like an airstrip would be Shana, of course. Although it wasn't that big, it still had potential since he could rub it big. To Ling Mo's surprise, his senior classman was actually pretty hot. Since she was tall, she looked pretty much like a model. She was facing him with her back, with her long hair tied, which revealed her beautiful neck. Ling Mo just glanced at it, but he had saw a dark-colored scar. It must have been a really deep wound, or else that scare wouldn't have looked like that. But the scar looked a bit weird at first. After taking a clearer look at it, he felt that this scar looked like a bite mark. Was she infected by being bitten? That kind of makes sense. Before he could ponder any more on this, another nose-bleeding scene appeared. The girl seemed to have been searching all over the place for water to take a shower. It seemed like Ye Ling hadn't woken up yet, but she was totally naked in here. It seemed like she was undressed while she was unconscious and taken in here. Right now, her arms were each grabbed by Ye Lian and Shana. They were using a towel to wipe her, like how Ling Mo used to wipe them in order to clean their bodies. Ling Mo had done this many times, but he had never done what Shana was going to do next. She started to wipe her sensitive part heavily. Apparently zombies actually have a reaction down there, because after rubbing it for a while, Ye Ling started to frown and make weird noises, oh. This hurtful yet also joyful sound turned Ling Mo's face beet red. But at this moment Shana looked at Ye Ling and asked, what's wrong with her? Ye Lian looked puzzled and shook her head. I don't know. Maybe her wound hurts? It shouldn't hurt. I didn't break any bones in her head. Shana replied with annoyance. Seemed like she didn't give a damn whether or not her bones were broken. The 2 of them already realized that Ling Mo had appeared, but they weren't surprised. They were already used to Ling Mo being there when they were naked, since Ling Mo used to clean them as well as change them. Brother Ling, you're awake? Asked Shana as she turned her head. Then she added, she's too dirty, so I thought of changing her, but then I found out her body was dirty too, so I found some water to wash her. Ling Mo thought, you were rubbing too hard. But how could Shana know that? She might have known that before she mutated, but the current her was an advanced zombie. Help her change after cleaning her. Why are the 2 of you torturing her when she's not even awake yet? Ling Mo said with resignation. Shana's red eyes under dark looked really evil. She simply raised the corner of her mouth and revealed her snow-white teeth. If she woke up, you wouldn't have let me done anything. Ling Mo paused and felt that something was not right and asked, what did you do to her, Shana? Something fun. Even though it was dark and quite blurry, Ling Mo could still see the mischievous smile on her face. It wouldn't be anything good if it entertained Shana. Ling Mo, though, oh, God, please. I have finally just taken her down and can control her. Please, I'm begging you, don't break her already. Ye Ling was very unlucky since she still hadn't woken up yet. If she was awake, at least she could go one-on-one with either Shana or Ye Lian and still end up with the upper hand. But since she was passed out right now, she couldn't resist anything that was done to her by Shana and Ye Lian. After hearing Ling Mo's question, Shana took away the towel and poured water on Ye Ling. The water soaked both Ye Ling and Ye Lian. Ye Ling woke up immediately at the same time. When she opened her red eyes, which glistened in the dark, the eyes showed alertness with some puzzlement. You. She tried to shake her body, but was unable to get loose from Ye Lian's grip. She could only look at Shana with concern. Although she had woken up, she hadn't fully recovered her strength. Shana sneered at her and then stuffed the towel in her mouth while Ye Lian also let go of her. Wipe it yourself. Ye Lian and Shana seemed to have finished washing, so they quickly changed while Ye Ling, on the other hand, just stood there surprised with the towel. Her mindset seemed to have changed, but she couldn't tell why. It was until she saw Ling Mo standing at the door when she realized why it was weird. As an advanced zombie, instead of having the intention of killing him, she instead felt intimacy towards him. You. Although Ye Ling was smart, this was something totally above her understanding. She could only look at Ling Mo for clues. Ling Mo wasn't going to tell her anything. He finally knew what Shana had done to her. Currently, all his attention was towards her face. He didn't want to look any lower in case Ye Ling figured it out. Wash your face, you can't see anyone like this, and, Ling Mo just couldn't help looking at her important part because Shana made it too obvious. How many naughty things were in Shana's head? After seeing the shaver on the toilet lid and some hair, something came to Ling Mo's mind. After one night of rest, Ling Mo had fully recovered his strength. Ye Ling, on the other hand, looked really tired. This was because she hadn't fully recovered from her injury. Even advanced zombies needed some time to recover after being hit on the head. Their recovery speed was fast, but it didn't mean it was instant. The smell of blood that was on her had disappeared after being cleaned by Ye Lian and Shana. She also had changed her clothes, but all the clothes that Ling Mo had brought were just too small. They were really tight on Ye Ling, making expose her hot body. Her eyes didn't look red anymore after being controlled by Ling Mo. Ling Mo believed that she could be more human once their connection got more closer. Ling Mo also noticed that she was walking in a weird way. Was it because her hair was shaved off down there, or was it because Shana had accidentally cut her skin when she was shaving it? Unfortunately, Ling Mo would never know since he wasn't going to ask, just in case she took his words wrong and thought of it as some sort of encouragement. At least Ye Lian didn't have these naughty ideas, but since her connection to Shana was really close, Ling Mo also had to stop her as well, otherwise she would always be on Shana's side. Ling was a bit isolated right now, but she was still behaving herself. Ling Mo packed all the food from the hotel, and then they started to head toward Shana's house. While walking down the stairs, Ling Mo turned his head to Shana and said, "Lead the way." Shana tilted her head and started to think before she said, "I only remember a little bit on how to get there from the 100-flower district, but I don't know how to get there from here since I have never been here before." "That should be good enough. Then we just need to find a way to the 100-flower district." It was impossible to remember all the roads in such a big city. Even Ling Mo couldn't do that. He was usually at the suburbs area, so he wasn't really familiar as Shana was about the city area. As for Ye Lian, after asking her several questions, he could tell that she was completely useless since she had zero knowledge about the city area. Ling Mo hopelessly looked at Ye Ling and asked, "How about you? Do you know how to get to the 100-flower district?" Ye Ling still seemed to be really dizzy, probably because she was still trying to process the fact that she was being controlled by Ling Mo. After hearing what he had asked, she hesitated a bit and slightly shook her head before saying, "I don't really remember much, just a little bit. You can think of everything you need to save me first, and then tell me after." Talking with her was a bit frustrating, but at least Ling Mo felt lucky. There was at least one person who knew how to get there. Although Shana didn't know the exact way, it was still good enough for Ling Mo since her memory would be more useful after they reached the district. The moment they went out of the alley and reached the road, Ling Mo saw a scene that gave him a terrible headache. There were just way too many zombies over here. The entire road was filled with zombies. Thousands of zombies were just wandering around. There were also a lot of abandoned cars, some of them even containing traces of explosions. A store's display window had been driven through by a high-end car. It made one wonder if the driver of the car had mutated or escaped. The piece of cloth with lots of bloodstains on the rear window would really shock most people. It basically painted an image of people being pulled out of the car and then torn apart. Fortunately, this was something Ling Mo was already used to seeing. How could anyone possibly find a way out in front of that many zombies? Ling Mo was having a headache. Although he had advanced zombies with him, if still tried to go past the huge crowd of zombies, he was good as dead. It would have been great if there were some tools lying around. While Ling Mo was still thinking, a black smoke started to come out from somewhere very far. A survivor? Ling Mo hid behind a wall, and before trying to look at the direction where the smoke had come from. The other three advanced zombies just decided to stand there by the entrance as advanced zombies. They had their pride, they would not hide. As long as the zombies didn't see Ling Mo, they wouldn't dare to think of coming here. "What is that?" Shana asked. Ye Lian also looked towards the direction of the black smoke with curiosity before turning to Ling Mo to wait for his answer. "I don't know. It's not like I have powers that can let me see 1,000 miles ahead or a telescope." Being relied on felt great, but unfortunately this time, he could only say he didn't know. Bang! Just when Ling Mo had finished talking, a loud noise came out. It was like a bomb had exploded in the silent road. Ling Mo became dazed for a split second before cursing, "Fuck." He immediately went in the store through the gap that was made by the high-end car when it had driven through the display window. The zombies immediately found out what was wrong her and dashed towards them. But with the three advanced zombies standing there, they got killed immediately before even reaching near the door. At the same time, other zombies had also gotten attracted by the sound. Just when Ling Mo had entered the store, a bunch of zombies landed from the sky. These zombies were the ones that were wandering around on top, and had come down when they heard the noise. Even though these brainless zombies were strong and had great recovery, when they decided to jump off from floor too high, they didn't make it and instead became a puddle of flesh and bones. Afterwards, there were a lot of banging sounds which had begun to make Ling Mo's head hurt. He decided to look through the gap and saw that the zombies had all turned towards the direction of where the sounds were coming from and had all dashed towards that place. The scene looked incredible with thousands of zombies running together to a specific area. A lot of zombies ran on top of the abandoned cars extremely fast. Obviously, there were a lot of different types of zombies running, so some of them got killed on the way. A younger zombie was stepped on when another zombie had jumped on the car, making blood splash out. Some of the other zombies had gotten attracted by the smell of blood and started to tear apart the body, leaving only bones left. The three advanced zombies had already backed away towards the door and had also leaned on the wall. Even advanced zombies would feel the need to hide a bit in front of so many zombies. If there was only one sound, the zombies would have just kept wandering due to losing track of the target. To Ling Mo's surprise, they started to slow down, yet the sounds of a gun kept coming out. God, Ling Mo thought that if it's a gun, then it must not be an ordinary survivor. Could it be a rescue team? Ling Mo thought curiously. But Ling Mo immediately felt a huge sense of disapproval, because if it was a rescue team, what they were doing wasn't saving anyone. They might be even risking themselves. Using guns in this area was basically committing suicide. Once the sound of the gun came out again, the zombies all started to run towards that direction again. The rest of the zombies were either eating zombie corpses or they were unable to move since their legs had gotten disabled in the process. When the gunshots had finally stopped, the zombies had all headed towards the directions of the sound. This had actually helped me. Seeing the zombies being led so far away, Ling Mo came out from the store. The three advanced zombies looked very interested, making Ling Mo also look interested. There must be a lot of supplies if it was a rescue team. Even though he wasn't really interested in guns, other weapons would be nice as well. Ling Mo wasn't hoping for them to die, but he knew the possibility of them surviving was nearly zero due to the amount of zombies. Should I go? Maybe there's a chance that we get something good. Ling Mo was very tempted. He looked at the three girls and decided to take out his knife. It's worth a shot to get good stuff. Let's go. Shana was really excited after Ling Mo made that decision. She was so excited that she licked her lips and said, there might be a lot of humans, since there were so many zombies gathering over there. It must be interesting, right? Ye Lian agreed with her. Even Ya Ling's eyes had turned red, looking extremely interested in it. Ling Mo grabbed Shana and shook his head and then said, you just want to watch them kill each other, don't you? The sounds of gunfire started to get closer as Ling Mo and the girls followed the zombies. There were sounds of explosions coming out from the buildings. This was the first time Ling Mo had seen this kind of thing. While the zombies were dashing towards the location of the sounds, the obstacles on the way caused damage to some of them. Some bumped into the obstacles while others got stuck, some even fell off buildings. None of the obstacles could really stop the zombies, since the sounds were a big attraction towards them. All the zombies had sprinted forward, but there were also so many obstacles in the way, it was lucky for a zombie that got slowed down by an obstacle, not to be stepped all over by the other zombies. Even though there were so many zombies, they were all very nimble. Even when some of the zombies fell down, it wouldn't turn into a huge chaos. Ordinary zombies would just keep as long as they could breath. If some of the zombies had fallen down, they would just over them. Ling Mo also saw some mutated zombies too. They were much more ruthless. They used their much more powerful jumps to leap onto the car hoods and ran over it. When they saw other zombies in front of them, they would just kill them, making the other zombies rush over to eat the corpses. But as the sounds of gunfire kept coming, it attracted their attention, making some of them give up on the food to run towards the sound. Ling Mo predicted that there were probably a ton of mutated zombies over there, not to mention the ones that were close from evolving to a mutated zombie. He began to wonder if there would be some advanced zombies in there. But then again, advanced zombies wouldn't be wandering around on the street in the first place, so there shouldn't be any. If this situation didn't end soon, the zombies from the other areas were going to show up, and then it would definitely become chaotic. Ling Mo thought that even a fully armed rescue team wouldn't do something so stupid like that. He thought that they should probably know the consequences of doing this. Maybe they had a way that was capable of destroying thousands of zombies. Seems like Ling Mo could benefit more things besides just the resources from the rescue team. He could also get the gels that were left behind from the mutated zombies, which was a lot. But he wasn't going to take any action at the moment, since it was best to wait and see how the situation played out. Even if the rescue team killed the zombies, they wouldn't open the brains and take the gels away from the mutated zombies, Ling Mo thought. Most people wouldn't even know that mutated zombies had small gels in their heads. It would be much easier for Ling Mo to go collect the gels after they had finished fighting. Bang! Ling Mo seemed a bit puzzled. That doesn't sound like a gunshot. Could it be a bomb instead? Sounds like something exploded. He wasn't really sure what was going on over there, so he turned to Ye Ling and said, go over there and see what's going on over there first. Ye Lian and Shana were still at full power, so he would be much safer if he kept them around him. Since Ye Ling was an advanced zombie, the other zombies wouldn't try to attack her. She was a bit weak right now, so she wouldn't be really useful around him, so the best option was to make her go there. But upon listening to Ling Mo's command, her eyes turned furious. You! Ling Ling still had some feelings of refusing Ling Mo, since their connection between each other had just recently been established. Before she could put up a refusal, a searing pain in her head came out of nowhere and dominated her. She fiercely looked at Ling Mo before going towards the zombie crowd and disappearing quickly. Seems like she's still not willing to listen to me. Ling Mo rubbed his chin. Ling Mo changed his vision to Ye Ling's. Ling Mo felt like he was also in the zombie crowd. Although she hadn't fully recovered her strength, it was still easy for her to run through this crowd of zombies. She also had a very fast reaction as well as speed, so she could avoid coming into contact with other zombies. Ling Mo could only feel bodies going past him. It was really hard for him to see anything. With this kind of speed, no wonder last time when she attacked me. He was surprised by the advanced zombie's ability in speed. This was another reason why he wanted to control her, because she was even more advanced than Ye Lian and Shana. She probably was even close to evolving to the next stage. What Ling Mo was worried most now was that he had no clue on how advanced zombies would increase their powers or how they would look like the next time they evolved. He figured maybe he could find something out from observing Ye Ling. Ling Mo and the other two slowly followed her. As long as they kept a distance of 1 kilometer, they would be safe. All of a sudden, about 1,000 meters away, a blaze of fire came out and turned the street into a sea of fire. A lot of cars exploded. Metals were flying everywhere during the explosion. On the second floor of a 3-story building, a guy was aiming at zombies with his rifle by the window. This guy had some unforgettable features. A straight nose, a wide forehead, and 2 sharp eyes, making him look like a very serious person. While he was shooting, he kept looking out and frowning. There was honestly just too many of them. It was becoming scary now. Bang! After he pulled the trigger, a zombie got shot by the bullet. Ya Ling, are you ready yet? The guy asked without looking back. A girl who seemed to be around 27 with short hair and looked very tough carrying a pistol came out. It's all done. The gases have all been used from the cars. After listening to what Ya Ling said, the guy sneered and said, let's finish off all the zombies today. Ya Ling hesitated and said, we can only kill part of it. It's impossible to kill them all. We failed a few times already. Luo, don't do impulsive things. Don't worry about it. We just need to clear the field temporarily. If we don't, we won't be able to collect any supplies because we wouldn't be able to go into that area. I'm also running out of bullets. If we stay here too long, we will die. After collecting enough supplies, we can move on. Ya Ling sighed, okay fine. But this fire field won't hold them off for long. Luo said, this fire is only here to just temporarily block them. It would only stop to the first couple of zombies that came first. It wouldn't work for sure on the other zombies that came after. Once those zombies entered the first floor of the mall, that's when their time to die will come. Ya Ling looked a bit insecure, but since he looked very confident, she didn't bother saying anything afterwards. She started to use her gun and aimed at the zombies. She aimed for a while and then pulled the trigger. Bang! Another zombie got burnt after entering the fire field and fell down defeated, but it was still breathing and struggled to get up and crawl towards them all. Ordinary zombies couldn't feel any pain, making them practically unstoppable. After running for 5 or 6 meters, it got knocked off its feet by the second car explosion. There was a very big mall. The front door was wide open. There were lots of zombies trying to get through, but they couldn't make it in due to the fire field. The zombies that gotten killed by the explosion actually helped the fire get even bigger. Although zombies kept coming up, the fire field was still able to block all of them. The intersection had been filled with zombies. Tons of zombies ran into the fire. There was even a slight barbecue smell. After killing another 2 zombies, Luo looked very serious and told Ya Ling, it's about time. All the zombies had come out. It was like their gathering spot. Normal people probably wouldn't even have the courage to run away after seeing such a sight. Although Luo had planned to let zombies come here, he still had cold sweats. As for Ya Ling, her face was pale white. Her hands were full of sweat. Yet although she didn't get cold feet, she was still definitely quivering with fear. After listening to what Luo said, she paused and finally reacted, oh yeah, don't worry. Luo could tell that she was panicking and added, even if we failed, Wang Lin would come to our aid. As long as we can trick these zombies to come here, it will become their burning graves. We can then move to the building behind us. We can definitely escape. Once we accumulate enough supplies, we can leave this place and go to the countryside. Like I said before, we can survive at my place. Luo's words really calmed her down. She wiped away her sweat and nodded. Okay, I understand. It's about time to let them come down there. It was already meaningless to shoot the zombies now, since those unfearful zombies kept dashing, making the fire smaller and smaller. Those zombies that had gotten caught by the fire kept running forward, but eventually still couldn't make it past the front door. Ling Mo, who was currently viewing Ye Ling's point of view, started to feel pain. Every single zombie was basically a member of the suicide squad. Ye Ling was currently standing on top of a car hood, looking towards a mall that was not so far away. She didn't run like the other zombies. Instead, she stood inside the crowd of zombies and calmly watched what was happening. But neither Luo or Ya Ling could see her despite how different she looked. This was because no survivor would be able to keep a cool mind after seeing the amount of zombies that was here. It doesn't look like a rescue team, but that guy is wearing an armed police uniform. Luo was currently wearing a trench coat with its zipper unzipped, making it possible to see what kind of clothes he was wearing under it. But due to the amount of bloodstains and other dirty things that were on it, it was impossible to tell from an advanced zombie's vision what he was wearing. After all, an advanced zombie's vision wasn't a telescope. They do have a limit of what they can see from far away. Even though Ling Mo was extremely curious, for Ye Ling's safety, he didn't make her go any closer. They had guns and could aim pretty well. Ling Mo wasn't completely sure if she was fast enough to dodge the bullets. This type of risk shouldn't be taken. Although Ling Mo only saw 2 survivors, Ling Mo still predicted that there could be even more people. Even though there were a lot of cars down there, it would still be pretty hard to explode all those cars with so many zombies around. They definitely should have some partners with them inside the mall. Based on the situation, the 2 people seemed to be pretty strong. They were probably trying to tank everything by attracting all the zombies to one place and then kill them all. The risk was pretty huge, but the benefits for it working out was huge. As long as they could kill all the zombies, the street would be empty for a while, letting people have a chance to go out and find supplies. They sure have big balls. Ling Mo complimented in his mind. Although he really wanted to confiscate their guns, he decided not to since he wasn't the type of person to take advantage of others. Plus, he didn't think he was a good shooter, even though he was good at shooter games. Games unfortunately don't count, and he doubts he would have any bullets to practice with. Also, there was a lot of things he needed to do to the gun, like maintenance or adding a silencer. It just wasn't worth it. Hot weapons were definitely easier to use for ordinary people. Even though it's risky, ordinary people still couldn't resist the temptation of using a gun. As for Ling Mo, he and his 3 advanced zombies prefer using cold weapons. Using cold weapons were risky as well, but it suited him better. After confirming his decision, he turned his interest towards the zombies over here. There were so many gels right in front of him. Ling Mo had previously made an experiment before by using a lighter to burn the gel. But after burning it for a few minutes, the gel only changed the color a little bit, and due to using the lighter, it became too hot to hold, so he was unable to continue with his experiment. So now this was a great chance for Ling Mo to get what he wanted. The situation had also made Ye Lian and Shana really excited, but they had controlled themselves and didn't rush in. We'll just wait outside and wait for them to get rid of them. Ling Mo smiled and said. Shana nodded and smiled. Should we also kill them after they defeat the zombies? Ling Mo had actually also thought of it, but then he hesitated and shook his head before saying, never mind them, we have enough resources so we don't really need to do this. Plus we are all humans. Shana murmured, I'm not. Ye Lian looked at Ling Mo and told Shana, don't be like this please, brother Ling still is. I know sister Ye Lian. Shana put her hand on Ye Lian's ass and pinched it. I'm just saying. Ling Mo looked at her with resignation. He knew that she wasn't just saying, they had a connection with each other, so Ling Mo could tell that she really wanted to kill. She was a zombie, so it is unavoidable. Right at this moment, Ye Ling met up with them in the middle and went on to another building to see what was going on. The fire has been put out already, letting the zombies rush in. Some of them even broke through the window. Ling Mo thought of choosing one zombie to control to see what was going on. So he randomly chose one. Ling Mo's spirit power had grown to the point where he could control zombies that were in his sights. But the amount of zombies was still a problem. After controlling Ye Ling, the number of zombies Ling Mo could control had sharply decreased. But it was worth it because one advanced zombie could fight like 50 ordinary zombies. After being controlled by Ling Mo, the zombie became a lot faster and quickly went to the front door. But since it was too crowded at the front door, it quietly went to the back instead. TL. So this chapter was extra long and took a while to translate. It was a bit confusing, let me know if you guys don't understand something. While the zombies kept trying to enter the mall, a lot of shelves from the stores started to fall down, making some loud crashing noises, but since it wasn't as loud as the explosions, it didn't attract any of zombies. Due to the front door not being so big, in order for the survivors to slow down their pace, they had placed several shelves at the front door to block them. Unfortunately, it was just a matter of time before the zombies broke through. The zombie that Ling Mo was currently controlling went to the side door of the mall, but found that it was closed. Did the survivors use this place as a checkpoint? Through the zombie's sight, Ling Mo could tell that there was something wrong with this doorknob. Instead of being really dirty, it was really clean, as if someone had come in and out quite often. There was a parking lot not so far from the alley by the side door. If this really was a checkpoint for the survivors, it would explain how they were able to move freely in and out. This was basically like an isolated island already. This mall wasn't really like a regular mall. It only sold electronic merchandise and basically no food. In the alley, there was a little supermarket. Ling Mo used his puppet to go take a look at it. From the puppet's vision, he saw that everything edible had been taken away. Only a few items were thrown at the front door. Just when Ling Mo wanted to open the door, a sound flew by. Ling Mo somehow saw something that looked like light attacking him. A sense of awareness appeared almost immediately, and he quickly opened the door. Ding! A cripsy sound came out when the door blocked the hidden weapon. Hidden weapons are basically throwing weapons that are usually used when someone is trying to ambush someone. That had flew by. That was close. Although only the zombie puppet would die, Ling Mo was too lazy to go get another one since all of them were at the front door already. After opening the door, a piece of steel that had the size of a hand appeared in front of him. What the fuck is this? Ling Mo had thought it might have been an arrow, but was surprised that it was actually a piece of steel. Who the hell threw this? It must have been someone who was very strong and had good accuracy. If it was Ling Mo himself right now, he definitely wouldn't take the risk of finding out, but since it was a puppet doing the scouting, he didn't mind getting hurt. So Ling Mo took the steel and then popped the puppet's head from behind the door to take a peek. There really was a boy standing there. Seeing a zombie opening a door and also dodging his attack, the boy who looked around 25 or 26 looked very shocked. His shock turned to puzzlement after seeing the zombie pop his head out from behind the door. He doesn't look like a guy with a lot of muscles. Could it be possible that he was a psychic? The guy was skinny like a monkey, making Ling Mo think that it was impossible for him to pull that attack off without any powers. Fortunately, the guy didn't seem to have processed everything yet, so Ling Mo quickly controlled the zombie puppet to go back in the mall. But when the zombie went inside, the guy screamed, making a girl come. Are you crazy, ding you? The girl sounded really mean, but the guy only just frowned before saying in a sore voice, Wang Rin, I think my eyes were playing a trick on me. If Ling Mo saw this girl, he would totally recognize her. She was Shana's cousin, Wang Rin. She looked completely different than how she was before. She was wearing casual clothes that gave her a fresh look feeling, while also carrying a long piece of steel on her back. Her hair was now short, making her look like a boy. Although her current looks would make people want to laugh at her, her face had completely changed. Her eyes contained a hint of coldness in them. She must have been through a lot after Ling Mo left. What did you see? Wang Rin asked impatiently. She sounded like she hated him a lot. He seemed like the slow and quiet type, the one you could never understand what he was thinking about every day. She had no idea how this guy could still survive with his brain capacity. To make things worse, he was a psychic that possessed about the same fighting power she had. It was no wonder Wang Rin didn't like him. Ding Yu hesitated and slowly said, I thought I saw a zombie opening a door, and when I attacked it, it dodged my attack. I also think I saw it looking at me. Are you stupid? Wang Rin sneered, and then suddenly an unpleasant memory popped out. I'm going. Stay here and wait for Luo Hong. Wang Rin pulled herself back and told him. When Ding Yu was about to stop her, Wang Rin had already dashed towards the stairs and went downstairs. After 10 seconds, she showed up at the alley and went into that side door. Dinah Yu saw her vanish from the door inside. Why doesn't this girl obey any orders? I just wish she doesn't mess up the plan. This was why I always said women are a liability. After complaining a bit, his face turned towards the rooftop of the mall. He then proceeded by taking a ladder and making it reach the mall. The height of the two buildings were the same and were only 3 meters apart from each other. Those who could jump really far could probably just jump over. Right at this moment, the zombie Ling Mo was controlling had finally entered the mall. He became really careful considering the fact that he might bump into some of the survivors. Ling Mo thought about the guy he had faced before and thought that the guy might have probably changed the way he perceived how zombies acted, or he might also regard it as some sort of coincidence or even see it as an advanced zombie. Actually, if nobody knew about Ling Mo's ability and had seen an advanced zombie before, they would definitely think his puppets that were being controlled by him were advanced zombies. So in a sense, Ling Mo wasn't too concerned about it anymore. But since there was only one available zombie for Ling Mo to use, he was still very careful. When he carefully walked up the staircase, he heard a sound. Zhang, you should go up first. I'll set the fire. Aye. Then you be careful. Don't worry so much. You know how good I am at using guns. Once the zombies get past a certain point, I'll shoot to make the explosion. The guy's voice sounded a bit shaky. Seemed like he was nervous, but also a bit excited. Ling Mo quietly hid near the door and took a look inside. He saw a young girl going up, and right beside the entrance was a man in a trench coat holding a rifle. The guy was the one who was shooting at the second floor. Ling Mo admired his accuracy a lot. He didn't expect to meet him this fast. After seeing him from close distance, Ling Mo realized that he really was armed police. Although the uniform was dirty, one could still tell. No wonder he was able to use a gun and stay calm at the same time. Although he was a bit frightened, he still managed to execute his plan, which made Ling Mo admire him very much. The armed policeman had no idea that a zombie was looking at him from behind, while he was holding the rifle and taking a look at what was happening from the door gap. It must have been very thrilling to know that thousands of zombies were right next to the other side of that door. It was like dancing on thin ice. One mistake could cost your life. A gun? Even a cannon wouldn't work at this point. Ling Mo was planning on trying to take advantage of this guy, but after looking at him, he felt a bit guilty. After going through so much, Ling Mo had changed. He would never show mercy to those that tried to take advantage of him. But that didn't mean he would be like those people and try to take advantage of others. The armed policeman was just seeking a way to let his companions run while he bought some time, which deserves respect. Ling Mo actually understood their plan. Attracting the zombies in a place filled with gas and alcohol and making the armed policeman explode this place and letting the fire burn the zombies. Once the mission was completed, they could take what they needed from the streets. Although the fire would probably spread out really fast, it would also attract the zombies on the streets. Either way, they only needed a small amount of time. Ling Mo suddenly felt a chill while he was thinking about it. At this crucial moment, Ling Mo dodged a piece of steel. Steel again? Fuck, that guy came after me. Ling Mo was shocked, but he had reacted fast and grabbed onto the piece of steel before it was pulled back. Unfortunately, this guy seemed to know a bit of kung fu, and he was able to pull back the steel piece and smash the zombie's arm with it, and then aimed at its neck. Holy shit, Ling Mo doesn't know kung fu, but he had experience of fighting. He simply kneeled down. The piece of steel luckily smashed above the zombie's head, just missing the brain, and then the zombie jumped on the survivor and tried to grab his ankles. Instead, the survivor's pants was grabbed, and the zombie pulled to avoid getting hit. No matter how good his kung fu was, it didn't stop him from losing his balance. Even though one of the zombie's arms were smashed, it was very strong. The person fell down with Ling Mo's zombie, and at the same time the pants was also taken down as well by the zombie. Just when Ling Mo was about to get rid of the survivor, a white leg and white-blue striped underwear appeared. When they both fell down, a loud sound was produced by the fall. Luckily, the sound was covered by the noises in the mall, so it didn't attract the policeman's attention. The policeman was very nervous already now, so he was too concentrated on other important things. The moment Ling Mo saw the white-blue striped women's underwear, he paused and felt a slight chill. What the fuck? This man is such a pervert. Although the world was currently running low on food, it still shouldn't be hard for a psychic to get proper underwear. While thinking, Ling Mo had controlled the zombie to pin down the guy and started to choke the person's neck. But at the same time, the person raised his hand and used the piece of steel to hit Ling Mo's zombie puppet. Ling Mo gripped the neck even tighter, making the person lose strength due to the lack of oxygen. This only made the person start struggling. Ouch! While Ling Mo kept putting pressure on the person, he used the zombie's red eyes to look at the person. Isn't that my sister-in-law? In Chinese, cousins that were females would also be considered a sister. Due to Wang Rin changing herself too much, Ling Mo thought the person was the guy he had seen at the rooftop that had tried to attack him previously. After looking more closely, he realized who it was. Because he was so shocked, he accidentally loosened his grip on her, giving Wang Rin a chance to immediately try and stab the zombie. Wang Rin's power exploded out since she had felt that her life was on the line, but before the steel piece had a chance to hit the zombie, Ling Mo had already felt like his brain had been poked through by it. This type of feeling was a kind of perception where even though he hadn't been attacked yet, he could see what was going to happen if he didn't dodge. Since Ling Mo had strong spirit powers, his reactions were also very fast. Although using puppets was a bit slower than using himself, it was at least almost as quick as a regular human. So he was able to quickly dodge the attack by a hair's length. Whoosh, the steel slashed above the head. Wang Rin gets up on her feet. Because her pants were almost taken off by Ling Mo, she was still a bit wobbly. Ling Mo took the opportunity to run over and push her against the wall and used one hand to grab her arm that was holding the steel piece and used the other hand to cover her mouth. By this time they were really close. Wang Rin looked extremely scared. The distance between them was less than 10 centimeters. She could already see the blood on the zombie's face, as well as a piece of flesh in its mouth. While Ling Mo was controlling the zombie before, he had also let it eat something on the way. The smell of blood almost made Wang Rin pass out. But this was not what she had feared most. What she feared most was that she was currently caught in an embarrassing position with her pants down to her ankles, with an ugly zombie pressing against her with nothing blocking her private area except her underwear. This made a lot of her bad memories play again in her head. She had believed that her surprise attack would have been enough to destroy Ling Mo's puppet zombie. It was just like how Ling Mo had predicted before. In the past, when Wang Rin was attacked by Ling Mo's 2 puppet zombies, she was actually very scared. She realized after parting ways with Ling Mo that she had actually seen advanced zombies. So she immediately understood that those 2 zombies that had attacked her were a lot smarter than normal zombies. But she had no idea why the zombies didn't want to kill her, but had instead wanted to do something else to her. This had bothered Wang Rin for a really long time. It was a good thing that the zombies she met afterwards were not like that, so she slowly lost her fear towards zombies. Although she had slowly lost her fear, she still hated those types of zombies. So after listening to Ding Yu's description, she immediately came to kill Ling Mo's zombie. Of course, she did this obviously for the team's benefit. If it really was an advanced zombie that went in, it might have ruined their entire plan. She was even starting to blame Ding Yu now. If he had successfully killed this zombie in the beginning, she wouldn't have had to come and clean up his mess. And to make matters worse, this zombie was very impudent. What kind of zombie does these kinds of things? Wang Rin tried to shout for help, but Ling Mo's puppet doesn't give her any chance. She was starting to regret not calling the policeman in the beginning for backup, because they probably could have taken down the advanced zombie together. She was afraid at the time, if she did, that it might have gotten the zombie's attention, so she chose to attack solo instead. Right now, Ling Mo was feeling a bit complicated. Why do bad things always happen when I see my sister-in-law? Ling Mo really couldn't blame her, since all she wanted to do was kill the zombie rather than bringing trouble to him. She was just doing her job as a human to kill a zombie. So Ling Mo decided not to kill her. Unfortunately, Ling Mo didn't know how to make his zombie puppets talk yet. Probably required a lot of strong psychic powers. Ling Mo tried to let the zombie open its mouth and talk, but instead it only made meaningless noises from its throat. The noise sounded like roaring, making Wang Rin fearful even more. Hey, don't be afraid, Ling Mo thought in his head, but he couldn't really speak. He just sighed and took away the piece of steel while looking at her scared expression. Ling Mo's main objective was to see what was going on here, so he had to finish this fast. He could only helplessly look at her before making the zombie's mouth open wide and inch its head closer to hers. Ironically, this really worked. When Wang Rin saw the big bloody mouth getting extremely close to her, she immediately fainted. You improved a lot, sister-in-law, but it seems that I improved more. Afterwards, Ling Mo slowly put her down. Looking at her underwear, Ling Mo decided to put her pants on for her. Although Ling Mo didn't really like her, she was still Shana's cousin, so Ling Mo decided not to let her reveal her, but for everyone to see. The mall was filled with zombies now. The obstacles the survivors had created in the beginning had all nearly been destroyed. But none of the zombies saw Luo Hung. He had his gun out, but he was hiding behind a door. Right now, he was completely covered in sweat, peering inside the mall. He didn't even bother wiping off the sweat that had covered his eyes. Because of this, he didn't know what had occurred in the stairway. It's about time. Seeing so many zombies, Luo Hang's lips were white already. He took a deep, long breath and looked at the barrel. Inside the barrel was full of gas. He only had to aim correctly on the cotton ribbon. The cotton ribbon was wrapped around the barrel and extended out. It was also soaked with gas. The ribbon was made out of bed sheets and curtains. They had done a test run in the parking lot before, so all they needed was someone who was good with guns to make the fire. Once he successfully shot it, it would burn right away. This critical moment put so much stress on Luo Hung that he felt that he could fall down any time. His finger was on the trigger, but he hadn't pulled it yet. Although the barrel was hung at a higher place, it was still a bit hard to aim in front of so many zombies. The pressure was just too much. Just when Ling Mo was grabbing Wang Rin to the door, he heard a loud bang. Ling Mo blanked out for a bit. But afterwards, an even louder noise exploded out. A wave of heat spread out. Although it didn't reach the stairways, he could feel that the temperature rose up a lot. After Luo Hong fired his gun, he suddenly collapsed. He had no energy to run. Holy shit. The explosion was insane. Since Ling Mo's puppet was inside them all, he could really feel it. Even his real body quivered, making Ye Lian and Shana curiously look over at him. Are you okay, Brother Ling? Ye Lian asked. Ling Mo shook his head. Don't worry, I'm fine. Ling Mo was already proficient in switching between his own body and his puppets. He not only could complete two things at a time, he could also actually multitask. It was just that the multi had a certain limit. Ye Lian and Shana looked at each other, curious of what Ling Mo was trying to pull. They actually had indirect connection with the puppet, so they could somehow tell what was going on. After hearing Ling Mo talking, Ya Ling coldly looked at him and walked into the mall. Ling Mo could tell she was still mad at him, but since she was controlled by him, she really couldn't do anything about it. Ling Mo didn't care anyways because he knew as time went by, she would eventually listen to him. She was just an extremely powerful puppet to him. If it wasn't because they knew each other, Ling Mo would have already used some extreme methods to train her loyalty. Since they knew each other, it's fine to give her more time. From where they were standing, they could see that the mall was on fire and the flames had already popped out of the doors, catching some of the zombies in it. The first floor of the mall looked like a big ball of fire. Probably after a while, the whole building may be under fire. The fire was a lot stronger than what Ling Mo had expected. He thought to himself, oh shit. What he was really afraid of was the gels being burnt completely. But on second thought, since he didn't contribute to anything, he shouldn't really care. Of course, it was always better to get something over nothing. But even if he didn't get enough gels, he could always go collect some on the streets ahead of the survivors. All these guys needed was food, and what Ling Mo needed was daily use items like tissues. These items were actually the hardest to find. Although there was a short supply of food, these kinds of things were also hard to find. He could actually have gotten all these things somewhere else. But if he could get something just by sacrificing one zombie without doing anything, that would be even better. After pulling himself back together into the zombie puppet, Ling Mo hesitated before poking his head out to look at Luo Hong and finally running over to him. Although this was the first time seeing him, Ling Mo kind of liked this guy. Since he was the type of person who would sacrifice himself for others, it would make many people want to admire him. What really made Ling Mo admire him was that even though he was really scared, he still managed to pull the plan. This kind of persistent and self-sacrificing spirit was already hard to see back in the past, not to mention right now. No matter if it were soldiers or ordinary people, there would always be people like this. Those who didn't understand why would laugh at them and think they were idiots. Although Ling Mo wasn't this kind of person, he still admired people like this. It was hard to find someone unselfish in the world right now. Luo Hong was completely exhausted and very dizzy. He kept hearing explosions and feeling heat waves coming out. He knew that if he still stayed here, he would die, but he didn't even have the power to stand up right now. He didn't really want to die yet, but after trying a few times to stand up, he really just couldn't do it. And the more anxious he was, the less energy he had. His current state couldn't even crawl, not to mention standing up. Right at this moment, a person appeared in front of him. He felt hope for a moment, but once he saw the red eyes of Zombie, he felt despair again. It's over. He looked hopeless. He used all the energy he had left to lift the gun and aimed at Ling Mo. But before he could pull the trigger, Ling Mo dashed in front of him and kicked Luo Hong right on the face. Sorry. Bow. After being kicked in the face, his body fell on the door. He was already exhausted. Not to mention when he got kicked, he had bumped onto the door with his head, making him pass out immediately. After the door was bumped open, the crazy fire in the mall began to make Ling Mo feel a bit intimidated. The survivors really put a lot of effort into this. Within a few seconds, the entire mall was caught on fire. This was apparently planned perfectly in advance. Thousands of zombies were caught by the fire. Seeing zombies running all around really looked scary. Another electronic device seemed to have exploded. Another noise came out. The flame was reaching the door, and the heat wave nearly burnt the puppet's eyebrows. This fire just shocked Ling Mo too much. He immediately awakened and sandwiched Luo Hong in his broken arm's armpit and grabbed Wang Rin with the other hand. The flames popped out of the door. The building was completely on fire right now. Holy motherfucker. If it was only Ling Mo by himself, he would be able to take the risk with his puppet to get through the fire. But because he had two people with him, he was unable to... whatever. He protected Wang Rin in his chest and took 2 steps back and dashed outside the door like a released arrow. While Ling Mo dashed out, a huge flame burst out and burnt Luo Hong's head. But the good thing was that Ling Mo didn't stop. Instead, he ran a bit more faster to put off the flames. Ling Mo wanted to send the 2 people to the parking lot, but after taking 2 steps, a window from a building next to the mall broke to pieces. The broken pieces flew out and hit Ling Mo. Good thing was that it wouldn't do any severe harm to zombies, but he didn't know if Luo Hong and Wang Rin got hurt from the broken shards. I was already nice enough to save you too, so I really can't help it if you two got hurt. Bang. The survivors really put a lot of effort on blocking the zombies. When Ling Mo looked at the flames, he thought to himself, oh shit. And with every second of hesitation, he could see the fire only getting bigger. No wonder that Jiangning girl went upstairs. That was probably the only path for escaping. But it's too late to go back up. Even if there was someone up there, Ling Mo wouldn't be able to send both of them up. Can't really blame Ling Mo, since he wasn't even part of the team, so he wouldn't have known how everything was arranged in the first place. People who have never seen a big fire would never really know how it was really like. Just the high temperature would make it unbearable. Not to mention the smoke and debris exploding out. Ling Mo hesitated and decided not to take the risk and ran towards the street. The flames were already very big. Ling Mo could feel that the skin on his head was almost burnt. Ling Mo controlled the puppet to run tens of meters away from them all before finally feeling a bit relieved. Although only the zombie was burnt, this experience had made Ling Mo feel terrified. Should I just leave them here? Ling Mo looked around and saw some zombies running out of the building, but they were all on fire, so they shouldn't be able to reach here. But if he really left them here, it would still be very dangerous. Those zombies wouldn't give up on free food, even if they didn't have any faces. Ling Mo was thinking of putting them inside a store, but just when he started walking, a drop of blood dropped on his feet. He quickly looked and paused. Both of their faces looked very dark. Luo Hong was struck by a lot of glass pieces and a palm-sized piece of glass was stuck in his leg. Blood kept coming down from his pants. Wang Rin was also really unlucky. She was on Ling Mo's shoulder, her back, but also had a lot of glass pieces. Even though she was passed out, she was still frowning. Ling Mo thought he was lucky in the beginning, but then he realized they were actually his shield. Looking at himself while walking back from the puppet's view felt pretty weird. But he needed both the puppet and him to put these two on the bed. Ling Mo was now currently in a second floor of a building, in a room where workers would take breaks. There wasn't much in the room. There was only a single bed with a lot of bloodstains on it. It was still a lot better than leaving them on the ground. The policeman's face was facing up on the bed while Ling Mo just threw Wang Rin on top of the blanket facing down. After settling them on the bed, Ling Mo controlled the zombie to walk out because it had a very strong smell on it. Not to mention the room was very small in the first place. Shana and Ye Lian curiously looked at the two people who got taken in. And Ya Ling stood outside frowning with her red eyes. She looked very impatient. Ling Mo thought she might have been stimulated by the smell of blood, so he made a gesture to tell her to go wait in the stairway. It was quite common for her to have this kind of reaction since she didn't have much contact with humans. As for Ye Lian and Shana, since they've already been with Ling Mo for a while, they wouldn't have any desire to attack. When Wang Rin was put down on the bed, Shana kept staring at her. Her looks became kind of weird. She unconsciously touched her breast. The jade sword pendant was stuck to her skin. Her eyes looked cold. Couldn't really tell what was she thinking about right now. Ling Mo realized that Shana was acting very differently right now, but he knew that right now, the most important thing was to treat their wounds. If he pulled out the glass pieces right now, they would start to bleed massively. Ling Mo took out some hemostat and bandages from the bag first, and then began to pull out the pieces. In order to do this faster, Ling Mo let Ye Lian help. She was very fast and accurate. After telling her how to do it, she immediately took out her clean white, yet powerful fingers and pulled out the glass piece. Wang Rin, who was currently passed out, made a slight noise of pain and blood started to splash out. OMG, that was too fast. Ling Mo quickly pulled up her shirt, revealing her white back, and then proceeded to help her stop the bleed. The pieces came from explosion, so Wang Rin's wound was heavier. Although the policeman's wound was also severe, she was his sister-in-law, so he should help treat her first. Plus, Shana had this weird look on her face. If she died, he would feel sorry to Shana. You are so lucky to have this brother-in-law treat your wounds for you, Ling Mo said quietly while he was treating the wound as well as helped her clean it. Meanwhile, Ye Lian was also taking out the other pieces from her body. After a while, the sheet under Wang Rin got soaked with blood, and she started to breath harder. Good thing was that Ling Mo and Ye Lian were very fast and precise. Wang Rin's back was perfectly treated. She just looked like a mummy right now. The wound on the butt was the biggest one and the only one left to treat. But at this moment, Ye Lian's eyes had completely turned red. Even Shana started to reveal some desires. Human blood was very tasty for them. Even Ling Mo's blood could stimulate their desires, not to mention these two lying on the bed. Brother Ling, Ye Lian was now staring at the back of Wang Rin's neck. Ling Mo quickly made the move by the door. Good girl, they don't taste good. This apparently didn't seem to work. The two girls could only run out the door to control themselves. At least they could control themselves better than Ye Ling. At least they weren't acting like her. Looking at the butt cheeks, Ling Mo grabbed on the piece and pulled it out. Oh, Wang Rin made a sound. The severe pain made her twitch, and then she woke up. But when she had opened her eyes, Ling Mo had already taken off her pants with the underwear to her thigh. Her butt was kind of nice and white, even though looking at her, but wasn't his real intention in the beginning, but since it was already there for him to see, why not take a look? Wang Rin and Shana didn't really look similar to each other, but their body shapes looked the same. Both of them had flat chests, but with a nice booty. Don't know if it was because of the family genetics or due to them learning fighting skills. But she did look a lot cuter if you took a look at her, but since that part looked exactly like Shana's. Wang Rin didn't expect to feel the coldness of the air at the bottom part of her body. She screamed right away and then started struggling. Her back was so painful that when she got up for a bit, she immediately lost her strength and fell back down. Even though Wang Rin looked really painful, she was afraid that if she turned her head, she would see the zombie trying to rape her. Am I going to be? Last time there was that asshole Ling Mo to save me, but this time, Because she felt very scared and hopeless, she didn't even realize the person beside her was a friend of hers. Hey, don't worry, it's me. Seeing that Wang Rin kept quivering with her fists tightly clenched, Ling Mo thought it was pretty funny. After hearing the noise, Wang Rin paused and slowly turned her head. When she saw Ling Mo, she became stupefied and shouted, "You! Don't call me you. Call me brother-in-law." Ling Mo was going to slap her, but then he realized that her butt was soaked with blood, so he could only put her down and start to clean her wound. Seeing Ling Mo using his hands to reach her, but she wanted to shout, but before she could shout, Ling Mo impatiently said, "Shout whatever way you want, but if the guy beside you woke up, he would also see your naked butt." Ah! She looked at where Ling Mo was pointing and became surprised. But she listened to Ling Mo since she didn't want Luo Hong to see her, but it was then she also realized Ling Mo also shouldn't be looking at her, but even though Ling Mo was her brother-in-law, but he still shouldn't look at her, but when she wanted to argue, a huge pain burst out from her, but Ling Mo was cleaning her wound with some diminishing inflammation powder. The huge pain made her start to cry. She could only bite tightly with her teeth and grip hard on the bedsheets while accepting Ling Mo's help. After finally treating her wounds, Wang Rin cried with pain. She cooperated with Ling Mo to let him put on her pants. "Whoa, stop crying. It hurts and you saw everything." Wang Rin was like a little girl right now, but thinking of her face when she attempted to kill people still gave Ling Mo a chill. Her weakness was just temporary, but she suddenly had a question. Why was Ling Mo here in the first place? This was the second time she saw an advanced zombie, and strangely every time she woke up with Ling Mo in front of her after fainting. Brother-in-law. But just when she started talking, Ling Mo interrupted. "I save you again. Sleep first, and then you better think how to thank me first before we talk." Wang Rin thought that everything seemed weird, but the fact was that he really did rescue her. If he didn't, she probably would have been burnt in the fire or probably killed by the zombie. She somehow figured out how she got her wounds, since part of the plan included the glass. They were planning to explode some glasses, so there would be more damage in each explosion. Seeing Ling Mo without any wounds made her feel a bit suspicious. But if she saw how the zombie was burnt with holes in its body, she probably wouldn't think this way. After all, she just escaped from death, so she had no energy to think too much about this. Instead, she fell asleep. When she was closing her eyes, she saw Shana. She felt weird since Shana's back was against her. Meanwhile, Ling Mo started to treat the policeman, but he bled more than Wang Rin. Fortunately, he only frowned when Ling Mo took out the glass piece. He didn't wake up. TL, bonus chapter guys. The fire had completely swallowed them all, and Zhang Ning was anxiously looking at the stairway. Unfortunately, she didn't see Luo Hong show up. The only thing she saw was smoke coming out. Zhang Ning bit her lips. She didn't even realize that it was bleeding. Her eyes started to turn a little bit red. Luo Hong. Bang! Another loud noise bursted out. Zhang Ning could also feel that the ground was shaking. She pulled herself together with sorrow on her face. She turned around and crawled to the next building. If she didn't leave, she would be letting Luo Hong down. She actually had a bad feeling when Luo Hong had told her to leave. Luo Hong might have been determined to die at that time, using his life in exchange for a bit of hope for his companion's futures. What made Zhang Ning feel painful was that she couldn't stop him or come up with a better idea. There was no use using lead wire since once the zombies came in, they would walk it off eventually. So sacrificing Luo Hong was the only way. There wasn't enough tools. In order to attract all the zombies into the building, you would have to take the risk. But to Zhang Ning's surprise, there was nobody when she reached the rooftop. Where's Ding Yu and Wang Rin? Did they leave from behind? That can't be right. They wouldn't have left in advance. Zhang Ning suspiciously looked around and then quickly left from the stairway. The fire might spread to this building, but the good thing was that there were no other buildings besides these two in the parking lot. It was just a big space surrounding these buildings, so the fire wouldn't spread to the streets. Although they had planned to retreat to this building, they didn't plan to stay here though. This was just a place for them to regroup, and then they would head to the street to collect for supplies. But what Zhang Ning didn't know was that when she was waiting for them, a zombie was already carrying Luo Hong and Wang Rin away. Ding Yu had seen everything and ran down immediately to chase after them. But a window exploded and the flames separated Ding Yu and the zombie. When Ding Yu saw the chance, he hugged his head and dashed through the flames, but the zombie had already disappeared. He immediately searched around. Some of the zombies that hadn't died approached him. He just waved his hand and some steel pieces shot out and hit the zombies. Ding Yu didn't look at the zombies. He was just focused on the bloodstains. He wiped his hand on the ground and started sniffing. Is this human blood? Is it Luo Heng's or Wang Rin's? It must be a very advanced zombie if it could dodge my attack and open the door. But afterward, he seriously started to consider, should I save them? They might already have been eaten by the time I get to the zombie. If I just save half a body, it would be kind of meaningless. After all, we are companions. I should make sure. If they are dead, there's no reason to fight a zombie. Zhang Ning should be able to go to the streets by herself. I'll meet her after I make sure. After talking to himself for a while, he followed the trail of blood. Ding Yu is a very cold person, although what he said was right, but if other people heard it, they might feel scared. After all, humans are usually emotionally attached. Every thought would have some subjective elements. although his final decision was also due to emotion, but the way he said, it was as if it was something he needed to put into consideration, but he didn't really actually care about them. Just when Ding Yu was following the trail of blood, Ling Mo had finished wrapping Luo Heng's wound. Ling Mo folded back the pants and pulled out a glass piece and started to disinfect it and then used bandage to wrap it. But what really shocked Ling Mo wasn't the deep cut, it was the densely covered wounds. These wounds didn't look like it was from a long time ago. Some of them just scabbed and got ripped off again. The wounds just kept bleeding. The rest of his body must have a lot of similar wounds. Seems like it was tough over here. He had no idea why Wang Rin had come here. Didn't she go to that survivor's camp base at the Ginkgo area after we parted ways? But since Wang Rin was asleep right now, he could only wait till she woke up to ask, shouldn't there be a knife on him? Ling Mo admired him, but that didn't mean he wouldn't take any advantages from him. Unfortunately for Ling Mo, the policeman only had some bullets and candies on him. Ling Mo, of course, also took the rifle, but since he didn't know how to use a gun, he didn't bother loading it with bullets. He just left it near the door. Right at this moment, Luo Heng opened his eyes with pain. When he opened his eyes, he seemed very puzzled, but when he saw Ling Mo, his eyes became wide opened. Then he realized that it was a person, not a zombie. You are. He struggled to get up and looked around the room carefully. Ling Mo had made the puppet commit suicide. After treating the wounds, there was no smell of blood anymore, so Ye Lian and Shana also turned back to normal. Even though Shana's eyes were still slightly red, nobody would be able to find out. The only one that would be exposed was Ya Ling, but she was on the 3rd floor. Luo Heng realized Wang Rin was also here. He looked very surprised, but he immediately realized that she had already stopped bleeding and there were some cotton wools beside her. He looked down and touched his wound and asked, "Did you save us?" Ling Mo knew there was a lot of doubtful points in this rescue, so he just nodded and changed the subject. "So, I'm actually kind of related to Wang Rin. My name is Ling Mo. You are?" "Oh, what a coincidence. Pleasure to meet you. I really don't know what to say. You saved me the first time we met." Luo Heng answered without hesitation. He seemed like he wanted to bow to Ling Mo, but since he couldn't get up, so he ended up just saying, "Thank you, thank you." You could feel that he was very sincere. Ling Mo just smiled. He was glad he did the right thing. Although there was no such things as friends right now, Ling Mo didn't mind helping people that admired. "I didn't realize there would be survivors here. If I knew, I would have tried to contact you. You must have gotten scared by what had happened today. Sorry about that." If other people had said this, it would have sounded like they were trying to undermine Ling Mo's ability, but when he said it, it sounded like he cared. Ling Mo smiled. He knows he looked very weak since he only had 2 girls with him. "No need to thank me. We just passed by," Ling Mo said. Luo Heng was shocked and changed the way he looked at Ling Mo. "There were so many zombies. How did you guys get here?" Ling Mo thought that there was nothing to hide, so he said, "X City University." Luo Heng's expression completely changed. "I can't imagine how you did it. I was actually planning to save some people over there, but I'm not capable of that. But since you could pull it off, you must be a psychic, right?" After listening to what Luo Heng had said, Ling Mo nodded. It was completely fine to tell Luo Heng since he had nothing to hide. As long as he didn't let others know what kind of powers he had, it was okay. Ling Mo's ability was actually pretty hard to guess. The diversity of his puppet skills really gave him a big advantage. There were already 2 psychics in Luo Heng's survivor group. One of them was Wang Rin, while the other one was the skinny guy who used the steel pole. The guy's ability seemed to be pretty good, but Wang Rin's ability wasn't really that useful. Not sure if she had improved or not. "That's it." Luo suddenly gave Ling Mo a passionate look and said, "I know this might be kind of abrupt, but I'd like to invite you to join our team. We have 4 people right now. There used to be more, but a lot of them sacrificed themselves." Talking to this point, he started to look a bit sad for a moment, but he cheered up immediately before saying, "We also have psychics in our team. Wang Rin is one of them. If you team up with us, we would have higher chance to survive together. What do you think? It's quite inconvenient for you to bring 2 girls with you. Why not do things together? Plus, you already know Wang Rin, and you also saved us. We would regard you like family and would never let you down. I know that people out there are crazy right now, and there are no rules, but me and my teammates, we're not like that. In this team, everyone is basically the same. After collecting enough items, we can go to the countryside. Over there are rivers and also a big farmland, as well as other families. As long as we can get rid of the zombies, we could live there for a while until the army takes over X City." Luo Heng seemed to be very excited about his plan, even though it was a bit too idealistic, but if they were good enough and had a bit of luck, it actually wasn't hard to make his plan into a reality. The hardest part would be collaborating with other survivors since it was hard to share the benefits and finding a perfect balance. Ling Mo obviously didn't really agree with the everyone is the same concept because there will always be a leader in a team. The way he depicted everything was really tempting. Even Ling Mo had almost fallen for it. But Ling Mo immediately reminded himself that he had 3 zombie girls with him, which meant that he could only stay in areas full of zombies. One of the points that Ling Mo had been contemplating was that zombies seemed to evolve very fast. Although they would kill each other and their numbers would decrease, no matter how much they decreased, they would still eventually have more numbers than humans. And for the ones that survived the slaughter, they would definitely be elites. Normal people wouldn't even stand a chance of defeating them. Even though humans could use weapons, and also now had psychics, who knew how powerful the more advanced zombies were like. Another main thing that concerned Ling Mo the most was that he wondered if zombies could reproduce. Since the zombie's flesh and body was full of the virus, Nobody really could do any research on this. Ling Mo thought he could try this out and test his theory after losing his virginity. Unfortunately, he couldn't do this with Ye Lian and Shana, since he would always end up being a nice guy when it came to Ye Lian and Shana. If he really wanted to try, though, Ye Ling's hot body started to wander in his head. She was mature enough to have a kid, but Ling Mo immediately shook his head and let go of that idea. Could zombies and humans really have kids? No one could really have an answer to this question, since the virus shouldn't be able to also change the DNA too. Thinking up to this point, Ling Mo shook his head and told Lupeng, "Your plan sounds really nice and all, and I also wish you could also succeed in it, but I'm currently not planning on going to the countryside right now." Luoheng paused a bit before asking, "Why?" "It's already so hard to survive in the city, and to be honest, some of my pals have already died. Although you have superpowers, there are just way too many zombies making it hard to survive. It would also become harder to escape once the supplies have been exhausted in the city." Shana suddenly turned her head and sneered. "What's so great with hanging out with humans?" Apparently, she was talking to Ling Mo. She was probably afraid that Ling Mo might cave in to the temptation. Fortunately, Luoheng didn't seem to understand what Shana had meant and said, "Not everyone is crazy. At least our team wouldn't do anything bad." Ling Mo thought to himself, "I know you won't, but the 3 girls over here want to eat you." Ling Mo quickly interrupted and said, "Thank you for your kind offer, but I have other plans in the city." He then gave Shana a gesture that meant to stop talking. Shana quickly covered her mouth and hid behind Ye Lian. Ye Lian didn't seem to be interested in this conversation, since she had no reactions. Luoheng seemed to be surprised by her beauty. This policeman was very ethical. Although he showed admiration to her beauty, he didn't show any lust or desire towards her, and had quickly looked at Ling Mo. "Since you insist." Suddenly, right at this moment, Ling Mo looked outside. Shana and Ye Lian looked at the stairway immediately. The intruder didn't seem like he wanted to hide, so they could feel his presence from his breath. Usually advanced zombies would hide themselves whenever they met Ling Mo, so he found out the pattern to it. Apparently advanced zombies could feel the presence of humans by their breathing. If one didn't have the ability to hide their breath, they would be felt by an advanced zombie. Ya Ling also reacted. She looked very impatient and wanted to attack. Ling Mo stood up and gave Ya Ling a command to calm down. She was sitting on the staircase connecting to the 3rd floor. As long as the person didn't walk towards the 3rd floor, the person wouldn't see her. Luoheng had also wanted to stand up, but since his thigh was hurt, he couldn't even stand stably, so he leaned on the bed and looked towards the direction Ling Mo was heading. A guy showed up immediately at the stairway. Ling Mo could tell that it was the guy who had tried to kill his puppet. Ling Mo was a bit shocked in the beginning, but then he suddenly thought that even though he knew the guy didn't know him since it was the puppet that met him. Ling Mo stayed calm again after this thought. Since he came here, that meant he saw the zombie taking Luoheng and Wang Rin away. Ling Mo had no intention of hiding himself in the first place, so he wasn't surprised that he showed up. Even if he saw the zombie's corpse, he wouldn't be able to form any connection towards Ling Mo and the zombie. He probably would be thinking that Ling Mo had saved them after the zombie took them away. So Ling Mo hesitated for a bit before giving up on the idea of fighting with him. Luoheng also saw Dingyu at this moment. He paused a bit before putting on a big smile on his face and yelled, "Dingyu, my brother. This is my partner. He's here to look for me." Luoheng quickly told Ling Mo. Although Ling Mo's high alertness shocked him, he didn't bother thinking any further than that since he was just too happy to see Dingyu. Although Dingyu didn't bother hiding himself, his muscles were still very, and while he was holding on a steel pole, looked like he was ready to attack at any time. But when he went up and saw 2 beautiful girls, although their eyes looked cold, they at least weren't the iconic red eyes that zombies had, so he felt relieved. Even so, he was still very wary and slowly walked up until he heard Luoheng's sound. He was shocked and stepped faster. When he passed by Ye Lian and Shana, he felt a sudden chill. The way the 2 girls looked at him made him feel very uncomfortable. It felt like he was being stared by zombies. "Brother Luo." Dingyu's tone of voice was really cold. He didn't look too excited when he saw that Luoheng and Wang Rin were still alive. Ling Mo felt a bit suspicious about him. Isn't he a bit too calm? Luoheng, on the other hand, looked very happy. He said, "Dingyu, I was very lucky. Thanks to this person we're alive, or else Wang Rin and I would be." Speaking to this point, he suddenly realized that he forgot to ask Ling Mo how he had saved them. But Ling Mo made others feel that he wasn't the type to talk much and didn't really like to talk much about himself. Never mind. Since Dingyu was here, he could ask him later instead of bothering Ling Mo. While talking, he was also looking at Ling Mo with appreciation. Ling Mo made a dry cough. He actually felt a bit ashamed and sorry. This was because if he was a bit more careful when he was controlling the zombie, they wouldn't be suffering so much pain right now. When Ling Mo was puppeting the zombie, he was a bit reckless since he felt that it didn't matter if the zombie got injured or not. Ling Mo thought to himself, "Whatever, I'm already nice enough to save you too." After listening to what Luoheng said, Dingyu curiously looked at Ling Mo and then paused. After a few seconds later, he simply said, "Thank you." It was just like how Ling Mo had predicted. Dingyu had followed the trail of blood, but before he came in, he had taken a look around first. He did this to avoid direct conflict with zombies, but to his surprise, he saw the zombie's body at the rear door. Even though the zombie's wounds looked a bit special, Most survivors wouldn't capture a zombie and throw it onto the wall. Looking at the blood on the wall and the bloody forehead, Dinah Yu's expression became a bit weird. When Luo Hong told him that Ling Mo had saved them, the zombie immediately popped into his head. Very bold, very strong, probably on par with a psychic that had strength as advantage. Ding Yu started to measure Ling Mo's ability using the zombie as a base. Although Ling Mo looked very normal and didn't seem like he had the strength to capture zombies or the strength to throw them onto the walls, at this time where psychics existed, anything could happen. He probably would never figure out that Ling Mo's superpower had nothing to do with strength, but instead was related to puppet skills. The unlucky zombie that Ling Mo controlled had been made to back away a few steps before running towards the door after dropping those two off. Ling Mo then controlled him to run toward the wall. Ling Mo broke their connection the second before the zombie crashed into the wall. At the moment when the zombie regained control of its body, it wasn't able to stop in time, so it rammed its head into the wall and died. If this was seen by a survivor, they would probably think they were dreaming. Ding Yu seriously looked at Ling Mo before saying, "You're very strong, aren't you? Are you a psychic?" "Yes, I am." Ling Mo nodded. There was nothing to be humble about since they were strangers. He didn't want to have any future conflicts with them, so it was a good idea to show off his ability right now and prevent them from doing something foolish. Luo Hong was a man with principles, but Ling Mo wasn't sure if this young man was also a man with principles. Ding Yu looked a bit shocked, but he slightly nodded afterwards before saying, "Nice to meet you. My name is Ding Yu. How about you?" "Ling Luanqui. How about them?" Ling Mo was surprised that he would even take the initiative to ask about Ye Lian and Shana. The two of them looked very cold. Even Luo Hong had seen them, but he didn't ask anything about them. Ling Mo wasn't paranoid that Ding Yu had probably figured out something. He just thought Ding Yu was probably a bit hostile with the two of them. "They are my girlfriends," Ling Mo said confidently. Ding Yu and Luo Hong were surprised for a moment, especially Luo Hong. He looked very awkward. If other survivors had two girlfriends, Luo Hong would definitely look down on that guy. But the guy in front of him had saved him. When it is the end of the world, strength meant everything. The strong take what they wanted. At least Ling Mo was a lot better than those guys who wanted to possess women, because he could tell from the two girls that they weren't weak at all. Anyways, Ding Yu became more careful of Ling Mo now. "Oh yeah, how's Zhang Ning?" Luo Hong anxiously asked. Although he probably didn't need to worry too much, due to the fire being very big in the mall, he couldn't help but be worried since he didn't see Zhang Ning with Ding Yu. Would she do something stupid, like going back to find them? Ding Yu looked at Luo Hong before saying, "She's probably fine." "Probably?" Luo Hong's expression changed. "So you're not sure how she is? What are you doing, running away without waiting for her?" In middle of talking, he stopped and looked at Ding Yu with a sorry face before saying, "Sorry, I was just too worried, so I used the wrong words." Ding Yu came to look for them, so he had left. Luo Hong realized that his complaint didn't make any sense. But Ding Yu didn't seem to care. His attention was all on Ling Mo and the other two girls. He looked more interested in Ling Mo than his partners, though. Ding Yu, could you please?" Luo Hong knew that he couldn't travel with his leg like this, so his voice had a bit of a begging tone. "I know, I will take her here, but I think we should wait for the fire to stop before we collect supplies. The zombies are being attracted to the fire, but as long as they gather around the intersection, the streets will be basically safe as long as we're careful. In short, the odds are on our side," Ding Yu coldly said before nodding to Ling Mo and then turning around in order to go back and get Zhang Ning. Luo Hong looked at Ding Yu Li with anxiousness and then apologized to Ling Mo by saying, "Sorry, it seems like another person will be occupying some of your space." "It's fine. It was a long day, and there were still a lot of zombies being attracted to the fire from other places. If they kept going now, they might see a lot of zombies. Plus, Ling Mo wanted a share of some of the benefits. They only had 4 people in their group, so there wasn't much they could take away anyways." Ling Mo's plan was to wait until everything was completed before going out to collect supplies. Before Ling Mo said anything, Luo Hong took the initiative and said, "Ding Yu is right. Let's collect supplies after the fire is put out. You guys can come too. If anything is useful to you, take it." "Thank you then." Ling Luanqui smiled. When Ding Yu and Zhang Ning comes back, I'll leave with Wang Rin. There's still a lot of places we can look for on the street. Although I'd like to chat with you all night, but there's only one bed." Ling Mo thought he was pretty nice. Just when he was about to nod, Shana suddenly said, "Take Wang Rin away tomorrow." Her tone of voice was as if there was no say in this. Ling Mo and Luo Hong were surprised. Ling Mo looked at her with surprise before turning to Luo Hong and saying, "They are actually relatives." Luo Hong showed that he understood after he listened to Ling Mo. Since they are relatives, this was quite a reasonable request. He actually thought Wang Rin might prefer to stay with Ling Mo. Although he was quite worried, Luo Hong couldn't do anything but just nod his head and say, "Okay, that's how it should be with family." When Ding Yu brought Zhang Ning back, the tough-looking girl didn't even bother caring that there were other people around and just ran to Luo Hong before giving him a big hug. Although it was a short hug, Luo Hong was really surprised. "You scared the shit out of me." Zhang Ning let go of him, wiped off her tears, and smiled. Luo Hong looked at Zhang Ning and thought, "You scared the shit out of me too." Zhang Ning looked around and saw Ling Mo and asked, "You're the one who saved him, right?" Ling Mo was just standing on the side watching. He didn't expect that she would suddenly look at him. Ling Mo nodded and Zhang Ning walked over to him slowly and looked deeply at Ling Mo, before proceeding to hug him. Her cold cheeks were pressed next to Ling Mo's cheek. At the same time, she whispered into his ears and said, "Thank you." Here, being hugged after the first time seeing each other, Ling and Mo seemed to be a bit shy, especially in front of Luo Hong. Shana and Ye Lian seemed to be annoyed with so many people in here. They were annoyed to the point that they even went to find Ye Ling. Seeing the both of them leaving, Zhang Ning let go of Ling Mo and anxiously said, "Sorry, I was just too excited." "Oh, don't worry, they weren't jealous," Ling Mo quickly replied, but those words didn't come out the right way. Zhang Ning wasn't thinking about it, but when she heard his reply, she kind of blushed and glanced at Luo Hong, looking a bit worried. But to her disappointment, he didn't do anything but paused stupidly. "Before I came here, I saw a pretty nice place close to here. We shouldn't keep staying here and bothering them. Let's go now," Ding Yu coldly said. Luo Hong finally pulled himself together, coughed, and said, "Brother Ling, the fire probably won't die out until later this evening. Let's take action tomorrow instead. Your legs are injured. Are you sure you could walk tomorrow?" Zhang Ning asked with concern. She saw the bandages on his legs, but when she asked, she didn't sound too worried. Since the wound had already been treated, there's no point in asking too many times. But she still really appreciated what Ling Mo had done. There weren't many people that were willing to help others right now. "No problem." Brother Ling wrapped up the wound. "He saved me. I'm very grateful you wasted your drugs on me." Luo Hong got up with Ding Yu's help. He thought for a while before turning to Zhang Ning and saying, "Let's give some of what we recorded to Ling Mo." Ling Mo looked at Zhang Ning. She took out a plastic bag with some hesitation. When she opened it, there was a notebook in there. Luo Hong took the notebook and gave it to Ling Mo. "We were going to the countryside, so we don't really need it anymore. I was actually planning on giving it to the army, but I think you would have a better chance than us in reaching them, since we wouldn't even know if the army took over X city when we're in the countryside. It's up to you whether or not you want to give it to the army. I believe the things on here would help you. Although it probably isn't enough to pay you back for saving me, but I would feel much better if you took it." Ling Mo knows that Luo Hong was the type of person who remembered the people that did nice things for him. Since he said it, he would take it. Plus, whatever a policeman was going to give to the army must probably be something very important. Luo Hong was really something. He might actually be very successful in the countryside. If he eventually couldn't stay in X City, he could go and find him. But that possibility was very low unless the zombies in X City all evolved into another level. Ling Mo wouldn't need to retreat. "I'll leave Wang Rin here for now. I'll see you guys tomorrow and see what her final decision is." After he finished talking, he left with Ding Yu and Zhang Ning. Before leaving, Ling Mo gave him the rifle back. Since weren't that much bullets left, it wasn't that useful. Zhang Ning and Ding Yu didn't ask much about why he was leaving Wang Rin here. Anyways, Luo Hong would tell them later. After they left, the three girls came in. Ye Ling's eyes had turned red. She kept staring at Wang Rin the moment she came inside and seemed like she was ready to take action. Shana turned to her and her eyes turned cold. "What are you doing?" Ye Ling and Shana looked at each other. Ye Ling was stronger than Shana, but she wasn't able to attack her since she was connected to her indirectly. Plus, she wasn't as intelligent as Shana, who had evolved in a very special way. Looking at Shana's eyes, Ye Ling thought of her shaved part. Because of Shana, she had been walking in a weird way. "Nothing," Ye Ling answered with anger. Ling Mo sighed and said, "If I don't give you an object to attack, you can't attack, okay? I'm a human. I don't kill people for no reason, understand?" Ye Ling looked at Ling Mo and shook her head. "I don't understand. Did you not understand the first half or second half?" "Everything. Don't bullshit with me. I know you at least understood the first half. There's no use in pretending that you don't. You're wrong if you think I won't punish you if you eat someone." Ling Mo said seriously and then added, "At least you can't eat her, okay? I still have something to ask her. How about other people?" This time Ye Lian was the one asking the question with seriousness. "So it's okay to eat other people?" "My good girl, we don't eat people. They don't taste delicious," and quickly added, "Gels are much better. It tastes good and has a lot of the virus." Ye Lian just looked at Ling Mo for a while. Although she only understood a little bit, she at least was more obedient and nodded. "Okay. Ye Lian is a good girl," Ling Mo said with a long sigh. Ye Ling wasn't his girlfriend or anything. She was just a zombie he had just started to control. It would take some time for her to become completely obedient. But when he thought about Shana, he realized she was also not very obedient sometimes. A zombie's rebellious phase? Shana showed a proud smile and leered at Ye Ling before walking to the bed and looking at Wang Rin with a weird look. After seeing her expression, Ling Mo couldn't help asking, "Shana, do you?" "Yes, my memory is all back. I remember her." Shana immediately nodded. "Did you want her to stay because you want to take her?" He actually didn't want to take Wang Rin with them. If Shana really wanted to, he would need to spend a lot of time talking her out of this. Shana smiled creepily and said, "I remember that you don't really like her. Don't worry, I don't like her either." "Then why?" "Because when I saw her, a lot of memories between me and her showed up. Right now, I have a very clear memory of my childhood with her." Shana stared at Wang Rin and smiled evilly. When it got really dark at night, Wang Rin slowly woke up. The moment she opened her eyes, the pain from her but made her frown. She was still facing down, her shoulder was really stiff, and she felt really uncomfortable. After bleeding so much, she felt like her throat was burning. Even swallowing her spit was very hard. "Water!" Wang Rin tried her best to get up and looked into the dark room. The scene she saw almost made her spit out blood. The place she was on wasn't a bed. It was a makeshift bed on the floor. Above what her was the only bed, and Ling Mo was on it with his girlfriend. But what shocked her was that there was another person on a chair in the corner. The person's eyes were closed. She tried her best to look at that person, but realized she didn't know the person. What a shitty brother-in-law. Just a pervert. He is seeing another girl. She was cursing in her mind and looked at where she was lying. This Ling Mo had gone too far. She was at least his sister-in-law and also an injured person, yet he didn't even let her to sleep on the bed. The makeshift bed was just a thin mat, just enough for one person, and it wasn't soft at all. If she had just lied on it for a while, it would be fine, but she's been on it for at least half a day. She felt very uncomfortable, especially her breasts. Did Ling Mo discriminate against flat breasts? Did he actually think that it wouldn't hurt if my breasts are flat? Wang Rin was complaining in her head and opened her mouth to say, hey. But just when she was about to talk, someone had covered her mouth from behind. Wang Rin widened her eyes. Just when she was about to panic, a voice came out. It's me. Wang Rin was very familiar with the voice, but at the same time it felt cold. She hesitated and revealed a shocked look in her eyes. Shana? Quiet, Shana said, and let go of her, then walked in front of her and kneeled down. Wang Rin couldn't really describe how she felt right now. Her expression contained shockness and complication. The 2 times they met last time, Shana didn't come and talk to her. She felt a little bit sad and very angry. But to her surprise, Shana had came to see her when she woke up. What really made Wang Rin feel frightened was Shana's slightly red eyes that's staring at her in the dark. Her eyes revealed some curiousness, but mostly indifference. Why does it feel like I'm being stared at by a zombie? Wang Rin quivered, but afterwards she thought she was probably imagining things. Although Shana didn't look like this before, a lot of time has passed, so change was a high chance. Even she had changed a lot, so she didn't make a big deal of Shana's changes. The eyes made Wang Rin feel a bit insecure, but when she saw the small necklace on Shana's neck, she started to feel warm in her heart. Just when she wanted to talk, a bottle of water was thrusted in front of her. Shana's eyes looked very creepy, but her behavior was quite normal. It even revealed some concern. Drink it. Wang Rin took the water with surprise, and then said, thank you. After drinking the water, Wang Rin felt a lot better. She looked at Shana with a warm feeling. People were usually very fragile after getting hurt. Not to mention she was just a girl, and the person in front of her was the only relative she had left. That is if you didn't count Ling Mo, since he was her brother-in-law. Shana looked at her, smiled, and suddenly asked, why are you here? I thought you were planning to go back to the Ginkgo district. Yeah. Wang Rin looked sad and said, I was going to head there, but I had gotten involved when I saw Luo Hong on the way. He had brought me into the group. There were many times I'd want to go back to the base, but I suddenly got a fever on the way. If they didn't insist on bringing me with them, I would have already been dead. The only person who had wanted to let go of me was Ding Yu. Speaking up to this point, her eyes turned furious, probably because talking to a relative made her feel wronged even more. Her eyes kind of turned red. But he was right. I was a total liability at the time. But Luo Hen didn't let go of me. He carried me until I had recovered. I've been following them for a long time, and so I couldn't go back. Even if it went back now, everyone there might have already left. Shana quietly looked at Wang Rin and then nodded before asking, how about my classmate, Liu Hao? He's still with those guys, right? Her tone of voice didn't sound like she cared. Shana's calm reaction made Wang Rin wide awake. She kept blinking her eyes to hold her tears back. She felt kind of stupid to vent her grievances to her if she was having this kind of attitude. How would I know? Wang Rin answered with anger. Never mind, I was just asking. Wang Rin looked at Shana and asked, what's your plan next? Follow Brother Ling, replied Shana. She made it sound like it was obvious. She then added, but I won't take you with us. I wouldn't want to join you guys in the first place. Wang Rin was very upset. Why? Although we weren't on good terms, but that was so many years ago, you shouldn't. But my memory of that time is very clear. So I decided to give you a little surprise as a memory of me. We can cross out what had happened before, but don't show yourself in front of us. You are just too weak. I feel ashamed to introduce you to Sister Ye Lian. Wang Rin was curious about what kind of surprise Shana gave her, but the words she had said after that pissed her off. She knew Shana was just stating facts, but she didn't have to be that so straightforward. Oh yeah, I have another question. How's it going with your boobs? Shana's question made her almost choke on her saliva. Why would Shana ask this kind of question? But she immediately realized it must have been that jerk, Ling Mo, who had taught her this. Wang Rin looked down and angrily said, it hurts a lot now thanks to you guys. It's not our fault that it hurts. It's because your boobs aren't big enough. Shana added, if it was big enough, it can become a cushion. Wang Rin thought that was complete and utter bullshit, but she couldn't stop herself from touching her breasts and thinking that it really was pretty small. Even though she hadn't completely finished puberty, other girls seemed to have bigger ones than hers. Who would care about how big boobs are right now? Wang Rin was suddenly awakened and moved her hands. Shana was serious. You don't need to care, but I do. Brother Ling will rub it for me and make it bigger. Wang Rin was thinking of what to say, but after seeing Shana's serious expression, Wang Rin thought she should just shut up. But she couldn't help thinking, maybe I could rub it to make it bigger too. I could try it when other people were not around. Maybe our family has a history of small boobs, so not my problem. Shana talked to herself a bit before saying, you can go back to sleep. I'm done asking you questions. Shana stood up and didn't see Wang Rin's fierce look in her eyes. Although Wang Rin had wanted to argue, Shana looked too intimidating. She couldn't really tell why. A lot of words were in her head, but she didn't seem to have the courage to say it. Her subconsciousness was telling her there was nothing good in pissing Shana off. Wang Rin stared at Shana's back before going back to sleep. Suddenly someone sat up from the bed. It was of course Ling Mo. He was a very light sleeper. He actually heard their whole conversation. He of course also wanted to know what kind of surprise Shana gave her. He looked at Wang Rin, who was asleep, with sympathy. This unlucky girl, why did she offend Shana in the past? Ling Mo thought Shana was going to give her a bit more hard time, but to his surprise, she talked with Wang Rin for a while. Just when he was going to ask Shana, he realized Shana's eyes were glowing a slight cold light. She smiled and turned to Ling Mo. Brother Ling, there's a saying a mountain cannot have the tigers, right? Seems like she's having a hard time with that dingy guy. Luo Hung, are you feeling better? In a room of the next building, Zhang Ning was sitting on the side of the sofa and Luo Hung was lying on it. There were no painkillers, so Luo Hung kept waking up from the pain. There was also another reason why he couldn't sleep. I'm feeling a lot better now, but I'm wondering if Wang Rin would. Luo Hung's voice seemed to be very uncertain. Zhang Ning looked at him and said, you treat her like a sister. I understand that you feel reluctant to let her go, but they are her family. If she goes with them, it's too bad that Ling Mo guy isn't willing to come with us, or else all of these problems would be solved. Is it because he doesn't think we are good enough for him to group up? Luo Hung hesitated before replying, no, although he's a psychic, our group also has two. We also have guns as well. He might just have his own plans. We can't force others, so let's stop thinking about this. Right now, I just hope Wang Rin could come with us tomorrow. I sympathize with this little girl. She might have a sharp tongue, but there are some good sides to her. I also realized Ling Mo had only treated her quite normal. It might not be the best for her to follow them. Zhang Ning seemed to be worried about something and looked out before lowering her voice. But you know she and Daini Yu. Luo Hung said, I know. Ding Yu suggested that we let her go before, which caused Wang Rin to be mean to him. Ding Yu is very good. It's just that he's too cold and rational to people. He shouldn't have said that in front of Wang Rin. I really hope their relationship could get better afterwards. Zhang Ning's face looked complicated. She seemed to have wanted to say something, but she held it in. Luo Hung was always sincere towards people he cared about, which made her like him. But when it came to relationship stuff, he was like a total idiot. She thought about it before. It wasn't a good time for relationships right now. She couldn't even make sure she could survive. So what was the point of even thinking about this? But then on second thought, it is because she could die at any time. She should do things she wanted to do before she's dead, so at least she would die with no regrets. Especially since she almost lost Luo Hung today. Thinking up to this point, she bit her lips and stared at Luo Hung for a bit before she decided to jump on him. It hurts. What are you doing? Don't kiss, don't take off my. Don't move. What are you doing? Are you going to? You can't do this to me, this is rape. Don't spout bullshit. If you don't have any reactions to it later, I will stop. I'm not ready yet. Plus we're friends. Who the fuck is your friend? I never seen you as a friend. Anyways, we should live life to the fullest and take the opportunity when it presents itself when we're still alive. Just when Zhang Ning jumped on Luo Hung, the door had slightly opened, displaying 3 pairs of eyes looking at them. When Ling Mo saw that everything was heating up, he smiled and slowly shut the door. This is what is called firewood meeting a heated fire. Oh no, a warm fire. Brother Ling, Ye Lian's eyes had turned very big. Although she didn't see any of the exciting parts, after seeing how it began, she felt very restless. Ling Mo laughed and said, oh, well, that's nothing. They have not even reached the fun part yet. They're going to do what we did before. Shana seemed like she didn't see enough because she replied, then don't close the door, since we've already done it before. Let's see how humans do it. Holy shit, you must have had these perverted ideas in the past. You probably even watched those kinds of videos. Ling Mo looked at her in shock. Oh, you're just trying to change the subject because what they're doing is different than what we did before. After Shana had evolved, she was essentially different than humans. She felt no shame in doing shameless things. Ling Mo never thought he would see a situation like this. Ling Mo began to worry that Shana and Ye Lian might just jump on him at the same time as well. He was not prepared yet. Shana seemed to be aroused, and Ye Lian would usually copy her. So Ling Mo thought it might be a good thing to be a bit more aware of these 2 advanced female zombies. Let's stop talking about this. Our main objective is to talk to Ding Yu. After talking to Wang Rin, Shana had told Ling Mo that they should teach Ding Yu a lesson. Ling Mo would be happy that Shana had this feeling. He thought at first, Shana was angry that her cousin was being bullied and might be abandoned by the other team. But after Shana told her the real reason, Ling Mo realized it wasn't human emotions, but a zombie's instinct. If Wang Rin is dead, I wouldn't get the chance to get revenge on her. It would be sad for not letting my dream come true. Since he's just a human, I won't need your help. Ling Mo felt a headache approach his temples when she was talking. That guy is actually pretty good. Even if you could defeat him, I think it is better not to go too far. Didn't you hear? That Luo Hung guy, save your cousin. Okay. If you're worried, why don't you come with me? After Ling Mo made the decision, Ye Lian followed them. She didn't want to stay in the same room with Ye Ling and Wang Rin. It was actually fine to stay with Ye Ling, but Wang Rin was a human. Staying in the same room with her would make her uncomfortable. When Ye Ling realized that she ended up taking this shitty task of babysitting, she widened her eyes. Don't eat her. Oh, I mean it. After seriously warning Ye Ling, Ling Mo led them to the next building. But Ling Mo didn't really want to have a confrontation with Ding Yu because it would be hard to explain to Luo Heng if he asks. And also, if he was in Ding Yu's shoes, he probably would have made the same decision. There was no reason to take the risk for someone who just came in and was a complete liability. This was because it might cause other people to die just to save her. Guess it just depends on which perspective you see. If you saw it from Wang Rin's shoes, you would probably hate Ding Yu. And Ding Yu must have thought he made a logical decision and wasn't wrong at all. But Ling Mo was a person who placed family over logic, so since he pissed off Shana, he needs to pay. Ling Mo turned around and looked at the 3 puppets that followed along and smiled. Sometimes it was better to use the zombies to punish others rather than himself. And as for them, they would just need to hide in the dark and watch the show. He could take action too if needed. Shana wasn't very satisfied with Ling Mo's plan, but on the thought of seeing Ding Yu suffer, she became excited. Even Ye Lian was excited about it. The fire had almost nearly died out. There was just a few little flames here and there. There were hundreds of zombies that had been attracted by the fire, wandering around on the intersections of the street. Ding Yu was sitting in front of a French door, drinking beer and watching the scene from far away. He had a little bag tied to his waist with tons of steel sticks in it. He was sitting on a sofa with some kind pillow behind his head, which had a lot of bloodstains, but he didn't seem to care. Good thing Luo Heng and Wang Rin aren't severely injured. Otherwise, both of them would be liabilities again. This team is really getting weaker. Bad things keep happening. Ding Yu apparently likes to talk to himself. It seems to help him think. Luo Heng is at least very useful, though. He has the necessary survival skills and also knows military things. Only he can make a plan like this. People should know what they are capable of. For example, me. I wouldn't be able to plan something like this. I just have superpowers that doesn't give me the power to create a survivor base. I hope I get more powerful. Like Ling Mo's group. Even though they have 2 girls, they were still pretty strong. After nagging a bit to himself, he swallowed more beers and sighed. Right at this moment, his pupils constricted. He turned his head. When he turned his head, a person with red eyes was standing behind the sofa under the darkness of the night. Zombies? Ding used one of his hands to reach his waist bag, while the other one pushed the sofa in order to try making the zombie fall. Just when his attention was all on this zombie, another zombie appeared from the corner with a table leg. H2. The zombie jumped high and used the table leg to attack Ding Yu. Ding Yu, who was pushing the sofa, tried to dodge, but he didn't completely dodge it. The table leg hit his shoulder and he made a grunt. But right at this moment, he was able to take out a steel stick and got up before throwing the stick. Ding Yu didn't have enough time to gather power when he threw it, but still made a sharp noise when it flew towards the zombie holding the table leg. But what shocked Ding Yu was that the zombie dodged it as if it knew what he was up to, and the other zombie dashed towards him, twisted its body before making a spin kick that aimed at Ding Yu's waist. Ding Yu never thought a zombie could do something like this. The sudden attack was very effective. Bang! Ding Yu was kicked and flew towards one direction. The zombie that had dodged his attack also tried to kick his waist after. It seemed like the zombies were aiming to destroy his kidneys. Ding Yu's pupil constricted, and he made a roar before throwing 2 more steel sticks out. Unfortunately, the vital parts weren't hit, so there was no big harm to the zombies. Are they highly advanced? Although it was only a few seconds, Ding Yu already had cold sweat on his forehead. He had never seen zombies that could cooperate so well like this. These 2 were very special. They seemed to be very smart, but also had a look that was very twisted, unlike those very smart ones who instead looked very bloodthirsty. What's going on? Ding Yu looked at the 2 zombies and took out his last 2 steel sticks. He could feel that his life was on the line. The 2 zombies were very similar to the one he saw in the morning. Are they here to revenge? But it was Ling Mo who had killed that zombie, not him. Although Ding Yu was thinking angrily, he looked very calm. It's just his eyes looked very serious, which revealed what he actually felt. If Ling Mo knew what Ding Yu was thinking, he would have admired him for his deductions. Seems like this could be the only explanation for the current situation right now. But the truth was actually really simple. They were Ling Mo's zombie puppets. Ling Mo was just in the room right next to it while Shana was on the balcony that was connected to another place, enjoying the show. Ye Lian was staying by Ling Mo because she was still stimulated apparently by the scene that was generated from Luo Heng and Zhang Ning. Zombies apparently didn't know how to hide their feeling, so she kept hugging Ling Mo and not letting go. But she was extremely curious on what was going on in the room, so she kept asking, making Ling Mo get turned on by her soft voice. Unfortunately, he had to control 2 zombies while holding back his desire. If Ling Mo's skills were even better, he could probably get rid of the delay issue. Ling Mo was a bit curious on whether or not he could win, since it's not every day he had the option of having a psychic help him practice his skills. Luckily, unlike controlling Ye Lian and Shana, he didn't need to worry about the zombie puppets getting hurt. Ding Yu had already gotten hit twice, and the damage he gave the zombies were basically nothing. And after getting hurt by them, they became even more different. Their attacks became even more precise, and were starting to collaborate even better. Where the hell did these zombies come from? Is this some new kind of zombie? Ding Yu was now completely confused. He began to think he was so unlucky. Although he knew there would be advanced zombies in such a big city, he never thought that he would be attacked by them. He thought of trying to get help from his teammates, but they weren't really close in the first place, which was why he was the only one living on the roof. Should I call for someone? He started to hesitate. If I ask for help now, it basically means that I'm also a liability. Luo Hung and Zhang Ning have guns. They might be able to really help me. Just when he was thinking, the two zombies attacked him again. They have very diverse attack patterns, which gave Ding Yu a very hard time. And for some unknown reason, the two zombies kept aiming at the side of his waist. Seemed like they wanted to give him a kidney deficiency. Ding Yu was running out of methods in defending himself, and there was no way he could defeat both of them in one shot. Although he did some damage to the zombies, it seems that he would be the one that would fall down first eventually. For some reason, Ding Yu had the feeling that the zombies were just playing with him and trying out different fighting methods. What made him really angry was that he didn't even have a chance to take a break and only could just continue fighting. He had already used up his steel sticks pretty fast. He was currently in a totally weaker position now. Ding Yu seemed to want to pick up the steel sticks and throw it again, but right now, there were only several sticks that had dropped to the ground. The others were stabbed inside the zombies' bodies. Nobody wanted to do a close combat fight with a zombie when they didn't need to, since it was too risky. Right at that moment, he made a decision and stuck himself to window behind him and shouted, "Luo Hung." His voice wasn't too loud since he didn't want to attract even more zombies. Unfortunately for him, there was no way in hell that Luo Hung could hear him right now, since he and Zhang Ning were making pa noises with their bodies on a low-quality sofa that was also making a gotsy squeezing sound. Ding Yu's shout for help had made Ling Mo pause for a second, but he realized after that, even if the two of them had heard his cry for help, they would still need time to put on their clothes before coming here, and by that time, he would have already been done. Afterwards, he would just need to make the zombies run outside. Who would have time to check the room next door with 3 people in it? He would be able to leave without anyone finding out. If it weren't for Shana needing to see Ding Yu get beaten with her own eyes, Ling Mo wouldn't have come here personally. However, in order to end the battle quickly, Ling Mo raised the frequency of the attacks. The two zombie puppets coordinated with each other, and the attacks became even more wild, increasing their combat power. The reason why he hadn't fought for real before was because he was practicing his skills. Usually he used his puppets to fight other zombies, which became a routine. But the way he fought against zombies wouldn't work well against humans, because compared to zombie, a human's biggest advantage was that it was able to use a weapon as well as dodge better. Let alone his target was a psychic. In order to let his puppets fully display their effectiveness, he had to be fully concentrated. From the beginning, Ling Mo's movements were a bit stagnated actually. The reason why Ding Yu was still pushed into a defensive position was due to the way the zombies had fought. Although he was currently in a defensive position, he was slowly grasping the concept of how the two zombies fought, waiting for opportunity to fight back. But what he didn't know was that Ling Mo was also trying to grasp the way he fought as well. The two zombies started to increase their frequency of attacks, as well as making their attacks more diverse. Their coordination in each attack became easier and better after each attack. Ding Yu didn't expect the zombies would attack him harder after he had shouted for help, making him complain in his head, as well as regret this current scenario. His heart could not help but regret his arrogance. He had a principle of never being a liability, which also was used to apply on other people as well. If he hadn't followed his pride of not asking for help and had immediately shouted for help the second he got attacked, he wouldn't have been beaten so pitifully. The sides of his waist had already been hit several times, already making it hurt a lot. He was desperately looking forward to Luo Hung and Zhang Ning's rescue. But at the same time, he felt complicated. He was the type of person who usually thought that his decisions were all correct and reasonable, but right now he had doubts. Didn't they hear me? Or did they hear me, but chose to ignore it, because I was usually unconcerned when it came to them? That shouldn't be right. I'm a psychic, so I still have value to them. But Luo Hung and Zhang Ning aren't like me. They wouldn't use a person's value to judge others. Ding Yu's attention slightly gets diverted, letting the zombies find a flaw in his defense. The zombie holding the table leg smacked him at the bottom of his ribs, while the other one punched him on the nose. Wong! The severe pain made Ding Yu incapacitated. His nose was in extreme pain, while at the same time a warm liquid started to flow out. Ding Yu started to take several steps back after his nose bled out, but just when he was going to bump into the French window behind him, a shadow appeared behind him. The shadow opened the French window and punched him right on the back of his head. Ding Yu immediately dropped like a bag of potatoes. Ling Mo was surprised. He quickly controlled the puppet to catch Ding Yu and slowly put him on the ground, just in case it made noise and interrupted the passion between a man and a woman by attracting their attention. The person who had knocked Ding Yu out was, of course, Shana. She had smelled blood and couldn't repress her urge of running over here. Ling Mo and Ye Lian quickly went through the balcony, but at the moment Shana had already walked in front of Ding Yu, kneeled down, stretching her neck and wrist before grabbing his collar. Damn it! Shana, I thought I told you I'll handle it. When Ling Mo himself arrived, Shana had already punched Ding Yu on his left eye with a smile on her face. The pain made Ding Yu send out a groan while he was passed out, but the sound was covered by some pop-pop sound. With Shana's speed, it wouldn't have been too hard to throw 10 punches within a second. Blood had already covered her hand while she punched Ding Yu, making him seem very pitiful. Her eyes turned red. She appeared to be very excited. Ding Yu was going to wake up, but after these punches, he totally passed out. When Shana threw Ding Yu away, Ling Mo took a look. A chill flowed through his back. Ling Mo kneeled down to look at his injuries and then said in a low voice, he is not going to fully recover for at least a month. OMG, did you break his nose? Damn it, you basically disfigured him for a short period of time. The two zombies aimed at his waist, but that only caused internal injuries, so one couldn't really tell from the outside. Ling Mo also had controlled his use of power, making sure he was only in pain, but without any real damage. He would have been fine after 10 days. After all, Luo Heng needs him. If Luo Heng couldn't use guns, Ding Yu would become the most powerful guy in their team. If he had killed Ding Yu, it was basically lowering their chances of surviving. So Ding Yu was right about one thing. He was still useful to the team. Ding Yu had the quality of a strong survivor. He was careful and rational. Obviously, there were still some flaws with him from Ling Mo's perspective. Obviously, there would be some friction between him and Wang Rin after suggesting to abandon her. But he wasn't the decision-maker, so after that Wang Rin became angry towards him. So he deserves this punishment. One of the reasons Ling Mo had agreed to beating his ass up was because he wanted to let him know how it felt to become another person's liability. After getting attacked, he would need other people to help support him. Maybe his mind would change by then. At least he should understand what kind of decisions should be made under different kinds of situations. Otherwise, he might pay an even higher price someday, perhaps even implicate Luo Heng and the others. After getting beaten by Shana, he could still walk, but his face has become unrecognizable. Humph. He made me unhappy. I can't let him off. The way you hit wasn't hard enough. I couldn't see anything. Shana smiled and extended her hand to Ling Mo, made an innocent smile before saying, "Brother Ling, wipe it off for me." "You." Ling Mo sighed and took out some tissues to clean her hands. The strength of advanced zombies are really unusual, although their bodies look the same, but under those slim hands actually hides a very strong power. These long, white fingers were enough to penetrate the body. Based on this, Shana had actually held back. It seems that she did remember Ling Mo's words and didn't go overboard. Ye Lian actually also decided to back Shana up by adding, "Yeah, hitting like this is more interesting." Ling Mo felt a huge headache and helplessly said, "People aren't toys for you to play with." Well, at least you can't play with normal people. There were just too much differences between zombies and humans. No matter how much they looked like a human or how much they recovered their memories, they were essentially different. Ling Mo was already prepared for this, though. At least the two of them saw him differently. Thinking to this point, he became happy again. Anyways, the two of them wouldn't dare play with him. After making sure that Ding Yu wouldn't die, Ling Mo quietly took the two girls downstairs. After walking through Luo Heng's room, Ling Mo creepily smiled and waiting until he heard a HHH sound before he immediately took the two girls away. When he went back, he made sure Wang Rin was safe and then focused his attention on the two puppets. "You guys have completed your parts, but you at least have to finish the show." Ling Mo controlled one of the puppet to lift the sofa and threw it on the ground. Bang! A huge noise came out. The ground started shaking. Luo Heng and Zhang Ning, who were currently hugging each other and reminiscing the aftertaste of what they did together, did not expect something to happen so suddenly. Something must have happened to Ding Yu. Zhang Ning quickly put on her clothes, took a gun, and ran out. Luo Heng tried very hard to put on his pants and also took a gun while dragging his leg and went up. When they reached Ding Yu's room, Zhang Ning became shocked after seeing Ding Yu's body lying on the floor and the two zombies. Just when she raised her gun, the zombies jumped off from the balcony as if they were afraid and landed on the air conditioner on the second floor and made a bang sound. Zhang Ning took her gun and carefully walked to the balcony and was ready to shoot them, but found out that they had already vanished into the night. She finally walked back to Ding Yu to see if he was okay. By the time Luo Heng arrived, he only saw the very pitiful Ding Yu and Zhang Ning. What the fuck is going on? He dragged his leg and walked up to Ding Yu before putting his fingers on Ding Yu's carotid artery and saying he's still alive. Zhang Ning put down her gun and walked over. It's possible that those were advanced zombies. If we had came any later, he might have been dead. The two zombies were really weird. They seemed to understand how fearsome guns were. Luo Heng thought that it was nothing, but he was surprised and started thinking whether the zombies had come back for revenge. This idea was the same as what Ding Yu was thinking. The next morning, Luo Heng brought his two teammates to where Ling Mo had stayed. It wasn't hard to tell that they didn't sleep well. They must have been anxiously waiting till dawn. Ding Yu looked gloomy following behind Luo Heng. He was holding onto his waist. Not only were his eyes and face black and blue, his nose was completely destroyed. He seemed both pitiful and distressed. In a while, if they want any supplies, give it to them. Right now, we don't really know what Wang Rin plans to do. Ding Yu can't fight temporarily if Wang Rin doesn't come with us. Luo Heng's expression appeared to be worried, but his words triggered complicated and embarrassed feelings for Ding Yu. Initially, Ding Yu was the one that had proposed the idea of getting rid of Wang Rin. Now they had to worry if Wang Rin wasn't willing to follow them anymore. After changing the roles of their positions, Ding Yu started to contemplate on how he should treat others. "Don't say that." Ding Yu will get upset. Zhang Ning grabbed Luo Heng and said to him in a low voice. But Ding Yu still heard everything. He looked at the both of them and saw them looking at him. He bitterly smiled. "It's fine, I won't get upset. This is just the truth. Sorry, I am a burden right now. If it weren't for you guys, I would have been dead already." Zhang Ning hesitated and smiled. Although the two zombies only viciously beat up Ding Yu, but no one expected that they wouldn't kill people. Therefore, Ding Yu thought he was saved by them. This was the first time he benefited from a group, and it was something he really cared about. He also benefited from teams before, but from his viewpoint, he could earn the benefits from any group. But comparing to those survivors, he is even more willing to work with Luo Heng, who is an armed policeman. So these people are just partners rather than real buddies. At least this incident changed his mindset a bit. At least when he got hurt, the first thing Luo Hong was thinking about wasn't whether he was still valuable or not. Don't worry, Ding Yu. Later I will ask for some medicine from Brother Ling. If he can't give us some, we'll use Zhang Ning's pistol in exchange. Luo Hong said with determination. Ding Yu looked deeply at Luo Hong and said, if Wang Rin isn't willing to come because of me, even though I don't think I'm wrong, I'm willing to say I'm sorry. These words shocked Luo Hong and Zhang Ning. This cold guy was willing to apologize? Ding Yu. Ding Yu calmly said, I lost the ability to fight, although Wang Rin's superpower isn't that strong, but she is still a pretty good fighter. I'm just thinking for the team's benefit. We might not make it out of X City alive if it was just the three of us. But Luo Hong seemed to ignore what he said and excitedly said, I am so happy. I knew you were a rational guy. This actually is not something bad. Really? This trait is actually quite important for a group to survive. If you decided to let your partners join, then you should embrace them, not consider them as a tool. Your previous method could increase the chances to survive, but would make you into a cold and heartless guy. If you ever got hurt, your partners would probably abandon you. I've always been really worried about this. Yes. Ding Yu became silent for a bit and slowly nodded. I will find the right balance and not make it hard for you again. Great. Your rational personality is actually very helpful, but do that to others. In here we are family. Luo Hong looked very sincere when he said this. The three of them talked and reached Ling Mo's room. Before they knocked, the door opened. A beautiful young lady showed up. But the eyes gave people a cold look. The three of them looked somewhere else to avoid eye contact with her. Brother Ling, the guys are here. The one who opened the door was Shana. She looked at Ding Yu and made an expression as if she is smiling, which made Ding Yu feel weird. This girl gives people a dangerous feeling. It was no different than facing the advanced zombies. Ding Yu actually had a split-second misconception that the girl in front of her and the other tall girl were zombies. However, he immediately thought his idea was somewhat funny. Not to mention a zombie's eyes would be red, but their eyes were normal, and plus it was impossible for a human and a zombie to live together in the same room. Ye Lian and Shana have already detected them when they came in. Ya Ling was sitting in a corner, suppressing her desire to attack. This was actually a kind of training Ling Mo gave her. It was definitely not okay to have the intentions of eating someone whenever she saw them. If he ever got hurt, she might rebel. After hearing what Shana said, Ya Ling twitched a bit and Ye Lian looked at the door with vigilance before taking 2 steps back. On the other hand, Wang Rin, who was lying on the cushion, tried to get up. When she passed by Ling Mo, he looked at her head and tried really hard not to laugh. This Shana was too naughty, but why didn't Wang Rin realize? Is it because her but hurts too much? Ling Mo went to the door. When he looked at Ding Yu, although he already knew how he looked like, he almost wasn't able to hold back his laughter. He had raised the corners of his mouth before finally holding back his laughter. Quite early, he made a dry cough, looked at Ding Yu and asked, what the fuck happened to you? Just when Luo Hong was going to talk, Ding Yu interrupted. Nothing, I fell off the stairs. Ding Yu answered as if it was nothing. But that calm expression really made people want to laugh. No one would believe that a person with superpowers would fall off from the stairs. This Ding Yu was terrible at lying. Ding Yu knew that he would never say anything that disgraceful about himself, so he lied. Ling Mo said, oh well, be careful, don't fall next time. The corner of Ding Yu's eyes started to twitch. Fall again? Or get beaten up again? They also saw a more mature female who looked mixed, with her head low and her cold eyes staring at them. No one dared to look at Ya Ling like this. Although they were very curious why there was another girl, Ling Mo didn't seem to want to introduce her to them, so they didn't bother asking more. Luo Hong wanted to get some drugs from Ling Mo, and he was also worried for Wang Rin, so he quickly said, Brother Ling, as you can see, Ding Yu fell down the stairs. Do you have some medicine that can be traded? Before he even finished, Shana coldly said, nope, and then turned to Ling Mo with a tender look. The change of attitude made Ling Mo spaced out. Brother Ling, how could she use such a soft voice to act helpless in front of so many people? It's so embarrassing and tempting. This made Ling Mo get turned on, but no matter what she did, he actually wasn't going to give other people his drugs. There was really no point in giving Ding Yu medicine. It would have been a waste of medicine. Even if his entire face was applied with medicine, it would still need to take a long time to heal. As for the injured waist, Ling Mo estimated that he probably wouldn't be using it for a long time and the injury wouldn't cause any huge impact on him. Although Ling Mo was thinking this, he still politely declined. Haha, no need to be so nice. If I had any left, I would definitely give you some for sure. But I used all of it on you and Wang Rin already. This made Luo Hong feel a bit sorry and embarrassed. He thought he was the one who used up all the medicine. He silenced and suddenly said, I didn't expect Brother Ling to use the rest of the medicine on us. Unfortunately, I have nothing good to give you if you don't dislike. He said that he would hand the pistol over, but he was rejected by Ling Mo. What could this stuff do for him? Seeing Ling Mo refusing and looking at Wang Rin, he paused, but awakened immediately. He was surprised and said, Wang Rin, don't worry. I would treat her very well. She is actually our part of our main force. Wang Rin made a cold laugh when she heard this, even though she already knew. When Zhang Ning came to help her up, Zhang Ning became surprised. Wang Rin you. Zhang Ning widened her eyes and looked at Ling Mo. Ling Mo gave her an innocent look and showed that it has nothing to do with me attitude. Wang Rin looked puzzled and asked, something's wrong? Zhang Ning slowly shook her head and said, nothing. When Zhang Ning was helping her to walk out, Luo hung and Dingyu was shocked to see her head, and both gave Ling Mo a weird look. Why are you guys looking at me? Ling Mo was sweating, thinking I had nothing to do with this. Shana was secretly laughing. Even Ye Lian raised her lips, but she was happy because she likes to see Ling Mo's helpless expression. Wang Rin didn't know that when she was holding her, but in the back of head was revealed, it showed something very funny. Shana had used a razor to shave 2 Chinese characters on the back of her head. Those characters spelled out, dumbass. TL, bonus chapter coming. Thanks for donating Remco to Haas. After a night, the fire has been completely extinguished. Since the neighborhood buildings consisted mostly of high-rises, there were actually not many zombies that discovered the fire here. Even so, when Ling Mo's group of people walked out of the building and looked towards the mall, they found that there were about 100 or 200 zombies still wandering in the streets. Seeing the wreckage in the morning really gave the others a chill. Inside, there were thousands of dead bodies from zombies. It wouldn't be exaggerated to say that it was a huge crematorium. The reason why Ling Mo paid special attention to that place was naturally because he was curious in the first place, while the second was because he still remembered that gels could be found inside. While Luo Heng's group started to look for things, Ling Mo found a chance to control some zombies to find some gels in the wreckage. At the same time, he and the other 3 girls went to a store to see if there's anything they needed. However, Ling Mo did not notice that when Wang Rin saw that they did not return to the other side of the road and had walked to the other side, there was a deep disappointment in the eyes. Are you okay? You don't want them to go? Zhang Ning suddenly asked meaningfully. She was holding on to her, so naturally she noticed her abnormal change. Wang Rin's expression changed slightly. Then she snorted and said in a very disdainful tone, "Who wants them to stay? They're nothing more than just living a little better now, but it doesn't change the fact that they are still survivors. Just wait until we go to the countryside. I will get a good foothold over there, and they will envy me later. How dare they say that I'm weak and that they feel ashamed to introduce me to others? Wait and see. I will prove myself." Shana and brother-in-law. She was clenching her fist and talking with a low voice when she was saying the last few words. But when Zhang Ning looked at her childish in his face and said, Wang Rin, it's nice to be ambitious, but let me get you a hat first. Why? It's getting cold. At the same time, Ling Mo was controlling his puppets to look for gels in the disgusting burn bodies. He tried to distract himself by talking. Shana, if you wish to say goodbye to Wang Rin, do it now. It might be hard to meet her again since we are probably going to stay here for a long time. Shana took a deformed milk pot out and put it on Ye Lian's head and made a weird look after hearing Ling Mo's words before calmly saying, "No need to. Although we are relatives, and I also have a lot of memories related to her, but in the end, she's still a human." Am I not a human also? Ling Mo did not understand Shana's thinking. And to be more precise, he just didn't know how zombies thought. Although he basically fostered 2 advanced zombies, but it was just a while ago that they had recovered their intelligence. Shana was a special case. She was different than other zombies. Ye Lian pushed away the milk pot Shana put on her head. She then turned to Ling Mo with her dark eyes. But Brother Ling is different. Then tell me, how different am I? Ling Mo smiled evilly and asked, "Is it because we were in a special relationship, or because we've already seen each other naked?" At this time, he was facing countless scorching corpses, so he thought that he wouldn't feel disgusted if he talked to these 2 girls. Ye Ling stared at Ling Mo and interrupted, "Who? Humans. How are they different?" Ling Mo thought that Ye Ling and Ye Lian had to temporarily search for vocabulary in their memories whenever they spoke, so it sounded like a stuttering feeling, but the tone of the 2 women were completely different. Ye Ling was an advanced zombie. When she talks to Ling Mo, she usually has a cold attitude and appears to be very hostile. Of course, this is also because they had just recently established the connection. But from her perspective, it's not hard to tell that humans and zombies were meant to be enemies. Even at Ye Ling's level, she didn't need to eat human or zombie flesh anymore. If she met a low-level zombie, she would just disregard the zombie, since it was from the same race, but if she saw a human, she would have a high desire to attack. It explained everything for the situation when she had first met Ling Mo. If it wasn't because she had an impression of Ling Mo in her memory, she wouldn't have talked to him on the second meeting. Ye Lian was different. She had already an established connection with Ling Mo even before she became a mutated zombie. To Ye Lian and Shana, Ling Mo was really different to them. So when Ling Mo asked, in his herd, he already had the answer. It must be because of the spirit connection, but what Ling Mo didn't expect was that Ye Lian shook her head and said, "Time. As more time passes by, I felt that Brother Ling's..." "Oh yes, soul. Brother Ling's soul is the same as ours." "Ooh." Ling Mo almost burst into laughter, but at the same time Shana nodded. "Although you have a human smell, but your soul is the same as ours." "How is that possible?" But before he finished talking, Ling Mo thought of his own spiritual ball. Indeed, they were all same violent red color. And as the 2 female zombies continued to evolve, his spiritual ball was becoming more and more like theirs. "So, am I actually turning into a zombie?" Ling Mo smiled and shook his head before stopping himself from thinking about this question. It doesn't matter to him if his soul is a zombie or not, but of course it is not okay for him to become a zombie with no consciousness. Right at this moment, the puppets had dug up something. They really found a bit of gel in the wreckage. It really was only a little bit, A zombie bent down and took a red gel from a brain of a burnt zombie. It was as small as rice, but the blood-red color looked like diamond under the sun and revealed a bit of seductive vibe. If the world was at peace, others might regard this as a ruby. Who could imagine that inside the brain of these ugly zombies would have this kind of beautiful thing? But the prettier the thing is, the more dangerous it is. Although it condensed to a very small one, but looked a lot more pure than other gels. Ling Mo was very happy and went on searching. He himself was planning to look into the store, but before that he grabbed Shana and asked, "Did you punish Ding Yu just because he irritated you, or was part of it because of Wang Rin?" This question came out all of a sudden. Shana just blinked her eyes and raised the corner of her mouth, showing a creepy smile. She didn't say anything, and just when Ling Mo wanted to talk, she tipped her toes and used her icy lips to block Ling Mo's mouth. The soft tongue slid in Ling Mo's mouth, provoking Ling Mo's nerves. Ling Mo spaced out a second and felt happy. Didn't expect Shana had this move. Since Shana took the initiative, Ling Mo hugged Shana and started to kiss. But what he didn't realize was when they were kissing, Ye Ling was staring at them. TL. Once again, thanks to Remco de Haas for donating. Thank him for being able to read this chapter a day earlier. Although, there was a lot of things on street, but there were two groups of people searching for supplies, and they were only looking for things that were still usage after the wreckage, so everything was collected pretty fast. Ling Mo's side actually finished a lot faster, but the zombies he was controlling needed to search carefully. They even had to move away some of the bodies, so their process was relatively slower. Although the ruins of the mall wasn't that big, the corpses inside were almost burned into a pile, most of which looked just like residue of burnt coal. After being burnt, the zombies looked no different than humans. If it weren't for his psychic powers, even Ling Mo wouldn't be able to come into this place. Although it was the zombies who were searching, but it was still a challenge for Ling Mo's tolerance level. In order not to smell, he made the zombies punch each other's noses so they couldn't smell. While he was controlling them, he realized that the zombies he currently was controlling were slightly more powerful than the zombies he had controlled before. His prediction was correct. The amount of zombies were decreasing, but the number of zombies was still a lot more than the amount of humans there were. Moreover, the quality of the zombies were increasing as well. Naturally, the survivors have also shouldered the initial round of elimination. They were forced to live under the brutal circumstances. The future was still uncertain, but Ling Mo knows that at least he won't be defeated by the environment. In order to survive, he would do anything challenging. In Apocalypse, some things just needed to be done. Ling Mo was actually quite lucky, at least with his ability. He could kind of do whatever he wants. For example, saving Luo Hong. He had the ability to create a base for survivors. This was kind of paving the way. Puppets kept looking for gels, in order to not let Luo Hong to find out. Ling Mo himself stayed in the store pretending to look for something and actually take the time to fool around with Ye Lian and Shana. Ye Ling kept randomly looking at them. As an advanced zombie, she shouldn't be jealous of the human and two zombies' intimate behavior. But for some reason, she seemed to be interested in them fooling around, and she kept looking at Ling Mo's hand, looking at it while it was touching Ye Lian and Shana's sensitive parts. Looking at the both of them trying to hide, unable to tolerate, but with happiness on their faces, Ye Ling started to touch her body on the back and pinched her ass. Don't really feel anything. Ye Ling frowned, looked at Ye Lian, who had just got slapped on the butt by Ling Mo while struggling, revealing a look that was hard to understand in her eyes. After a few more minutes, the puppets finished collecting all the gels and then handed them all over to one of the zombies. The puppet then took a detour behind the street to reach the store and then gave the gels to Ling Mo. Although a single gel looked very small, but the amount they had collected from the wreckage could fill up half a pocket. And with the purity, the zombies could eat for a long time. This made Ling Mo feel relieved. At least he didn't need to be worried about their food temporarily. Now, they can go to Shana's place without being worried about food, and maybe he could also find a weapon that was more suitable for him. He really wanted to give Ye Ling a weapon. She was actually even more powerful than Ye Lian and Shana, but with her current injury, she couldn't show off her real ability. However, the reason why she had lost and gotten her injuries was due to her weapon being too short. Although her learning ability was quite fast, and she had learned to grab a weapon in order to fight with Ling Mo, but she took a wooden-made weapon to fight against a steel knife, which defies common sense. Only zombies would do stupid things like this. But she now became Ling Mo's puppet, so obviously he would correct this weakness. Ling Mo was going to exploit her ability and make her live up to her potential. Okay, guess that's it. Let's go to the 100 Flower District. Senior sister, TL. So yeah, in Chinese they have a word for a girl from the same school that is basically in a higher grade. For those that don't know who senior sister is, aka Ling Mo's upperclassman, Ye Ling. You remember the general direction, right? Could you show us how to get there? We will be counting on you later. Ling Mo carefully sealed the bag of gels and put it in another bag. These virus gels cannot be completely destroyed by high temperatures apparently. I don't know whether they had such a strong vitality from the beginning, or they were upgraded and changed in the later process. From Ling Mo's perspective, it was as dangerous as a bomb, so it was better to be careful. Although after so long, Ling Mo already knows that these virus gels would not infect humans through skin contact, but since it was still in the process of evolving, he should still be careful. Ye Ling puzzledly looked at Ling Mo, who seemed a bit impatient. She slowly nodded, and at the same time she took away her hands that were on her ass and said, "Okay, let's go after telling Luo Hong." Ling Mo didn't notice what Ye Ling was doing before. He had already collected enough liquid from Ye Lian and Shana and felt fully energized. Luo Hong and his party were also excitedly collecting all kinds of scarce materials in the shops along the street. They originally prepared 4 huge backpacks, but Luo Hong could barely carry one, and since Wang Rin hurt her back, she couldn't carry anything. We can only give up some. Most of things seemed to be useless to Ling Mo, but actually to normal survivors. Even if the food expired, as long as it didn't go bad, it was still edible. If someone got poisoned by the food, it's on them because their stomach wasn't able to adapt to the new environment. Zhang Ning looked at Luo Hong and comforted him. We could move faster if we carry less stuff. After we leave this city, the amount of zombies will gradually decrease. We could look for food in the suburbs. I know completing this plan of your perfectly would make you happy, but you don't need to be so hard on yourself. Luo Hong gave Zhang Ning a complicated look. She took the advantage of him when he couldn't really resist. This kind of behavior made it hard for him to look at her straight in the eyes. He still couldn't be with Zhang Ning and acted as if nothing happened. How could Zhang Ning be so calm? Fortunately, Ding Yu interrupted, but because his face was swollen from being beaten up, his voice became really hard to hear. Zhang Ning is right. We need to leave right away. If the 2 zombies come back or following us, we are dead. That's right. Luo Hong nodded, looking at the 3 bags. Let's look for some other stores and leave. After getting out, they saw Ling Mo sticking to the wall walking near them. Ding Yu was thinking that their speed was a bit fast, having already collected everything they needed. Wang Rin was looking at the Ling Mo with a complicated look. She was wearing a hat, but she probably didn't touch the back of her head yet. When Ling Mo saw her, he wouldn't help but want to laugh. Wonder what her reaction would be like if she found out. Luo Hong revealed his happiness and excitement, but he's afraid to get the zombies' attention, so he lowered his voice. Brother Ling, have you collected everything? Ling Mo walked to them 2 or 3 steps before nodding. Yes, so we might need to leave now. Oh, Luo Hong hesitated and asked, Brother Ling, you really aren't going to? Ling Mo shook his head and said, the road we have chosen is different, but it is all for survival. Seeing Ling Mo being very determined, Luo Hong felt disappointed, but he later added, Brother Ling, my house is at Happy Town Lotus Village in X City. You're always welcome to come here whenever you get the chance. We would use all our power to provide food and supplies. Of course, it would be even better if you can stay. After making the promise, Ding Yu frowned, but didn't say anything. Ling Mo had saved half of the team members. This promise wasn't just between Ling Mo and Luo Hong. He had made the promise under the whole team, which is quite understandable. Naturally, the other reason why Ding Yu didn't oppose of this was because Zhang Ning and Luo Hong saved him. Seeing how Ding Yu had wanted to say something but didn't, Ling Mo could not help but reveal a smile. It seems that this guy learned how to be a bit smarter. Ling Mo had already expected this outcome, so he just nodded. Sure, if there's a chance, I will. In addition, he turned to look at Wang Rin. This girl hid beside Zhang Ning with her hat lowered and her eyes secretly staring at him. Thinking about when they had first met, she had kind of a young miss, basically wanted everyone to listen to her, and only her temper, obviously she still has it, but she wouldn't dare show it in front of Ling Mo and Shana. At this time, seeing Ling Mo looking at her, she felt a bit anxious and a little bit of expectation. She was after all a little girl. Although she didn't like Ling Mo, she would still wish to hear something nice. Ling Mo seemed very serious while staring at Wang Rin and looked at her eyes. He took a deep breath in her very long-awaited look. He said with a strong heart, Sister-in-law, learn to be smarter, okay? Wang Rin widened her eyes. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Am I stupid? Shana added. You have never won a fight against me before, and right now you're not even close. Wang Rin, please get stronger. If she wasn't being looked by a lot of people, she might have cried. What kind of last words were these? Even though what they were saying was true, but at least say nice things. While she was feeling angry, she suddenly remembered she also had sharp tongue. After Luo Hong and the others parted ways with Ling Mo, Ling Mo turned into an alley and quickly left. In such an area where the zombies were extremely dense, it was safer to walk a remote path than to cross the street. After watching the backs of Ling Mo and the other 3 people disappear, Wang Rin couldn't describe what she was feeling. She was absent-minded and said with a very low voice, take care. It was so low that even Zhang Ning, who was right next to her, couldn't hear it clearly. Senior sister, Ye Ling. I thought you said you knew the general direction of where it was? Where is it? Ling Mo ached while carrying a bulging backpack and inserting a short knife into his waist. Ye Ling deliberately kept a distance from him. It seems that she was still unwilling to be too close to human beings. Her attitude was still cold, but due to her being under his control, she still had to answer here. Ling Mo could tell if she was lying right away through her spirit fluctuations. However, Ye Ling was not stupid enough to give Ling Mo a chance to punish her, so she told the truth. But her memory was a bit vague, so she could only remember the general direction. That was enough for them, though, because once they got near the Hunter-Flower District, Shana would probably be able to recognize the rest of the way. Hearing Ye Ling answering with an unpleasant voice, Ye Lian and Shana frowned. Shana turned back to look at Ye Ling and whispered to Ye Lian. Ling Mo was grabbing the notebook Luo Hong gave him, so he didn't see what the 2 zombies were doing. Ye Lian nodded and walked to Ling Mo. Brother Ling, I think she's not so close to us. Why don't we train her, teach her? Sure, good idea. Wait, No, I thought you said trainer. Ling Mo was going to nod, but he realized that something was off about this suggestion. He looked at Ye Lian, although she didn't have much of an expression, but she looked like she was trying to shy away from him. So he realized something. He specifically reminded Shana before not to go looking for Ye Ling's trouble. She seemed to still remember. But right now, it looks like she was not willing to give up. She had asked Ye Lian to ask him after being told. If these two girls actually dared cooperate together to find a loophole in my rules. See how I fix you both? Ling Mo knew what they were up to, but pretended to play dumb and started to think before saying, but you two aren't good enough. Teaching Ye Ling is a good idea, but if you guys want to do it, you aren't able to. You both need to also improve first. How about this? I'll let you guys teach her, but you guys need to improve first. So I'm deciding to work a little bit harder and spare some more time each day to teach you different kinds of positions. No, I meant how to be a decent person. Ye Lian thought about it and looked back at Shana. When she saw Shana, she nodded and agreed. Okay, but in order to ensure the quality of teaching, you two must promise to cooperate, be obedient, and never resist. Ling Mo quickly added. Every time, when Ling Mo got on top of them, they would always struggle hard. Ye Lian was fine, but it was really hard to control Shana. They're too fast and too strong, although he could control them, but he didn't want to use it for these kind of things. This type of behavior might cause some permanent trauma on the zombie's nerves. So most of the time Ling Mo was usually doing something very labor-intensive. Even the two zombies would sweat a lot. But if they promised not to resist, everything would be so great, Ling Mo thought and smiled. Ye Lian hesitated and nodded. Okay. Great then, teaching Ye Ling is the responsibility of the two of you now. He thought in his head, senior sister, I'm your younger brother. For my happiness, you will need to be sacrificed. Ye Ling was at the very front. She was waving the baseball bat Ling Mo had given her, using a very brutal way to hit the zombies that were blocking the way. Although the zombies were somewhat afraid of the three advanced zombies, but because they saw Ling Mo, they began to show the attitude of wanting to attack. This was because ordinary zombies only rely on instinct when they act. The suppression of natural ranks and the desire for human flesh were completely impossible to have clear cognition and recognition in their completely unconscious mind. This was why Ling Mo could control a bunch of mutated zombies to clear the path, but couldn't use the pressure of their level to intimidate them, since these brainless monsters wouldn't be able to ignore Ling Mo just because there were advanced zombies around him. Seeing Ye Ling showing the beauty of violence, Ling Mo felt that it was incredible. Although she hadn't recovered her full strength, you could her moving quickly, bypassing from zombie to zombie, swinging the bat with full force. Every swing of hers easy killed the zombies, as if she was cutting vegetables. As long as she swung, you would be able to hear a muffled sound coming from it. The zombies that fell from her attacks were barely able to get up again. Those that tried to get up would just get their necks stepped on by her. Katia's a terrible sound came out. One of them has been brutally stepped on. After looking at Ye Ling, Ling Mo turned his attention to the notebook in his hand. Since there wasn't much danger right now, and he didn't even need to fight, he wanted to take the chance and see if there were any important information from the notebook. Only he could do something else on a road like this. He had 3 advanced zombies with him. As long as he didn't bump into any advanced zombies or get surrounded by a bunch of zombies, he's pretty much safe. However, if he is seen by other survivors, they would probably think that he was an illusion. The things in the notebook looked very complicated, looks like it had been recorded a long time ago. Luo Heng's description was very simple. The words were also mediocre, but you could kind of tell what he was feeling when he was writing. It was a scary day when I was on duty. An old lady suddenly became crazy and dashed toward the pedestrian and started biting him. She was already very old, but she could knock off a man. The guy kept crying for help. I was shocked. Just when I was going to save him, I realized the place around me was in chaos. Blood was everywhere. Even a comrade in arms started to attack me. I was scared to death. They looked exactly like the creature in the movie, a zombie. This was the first page, but the words were very messy. It was covered with dirty bloodstains. However, what is certain is that this was not recorded on the same day, but was written by Luo Heng later. Ling Mo understood that Luo Heng wanted to find a place to vent his frustration, because he was like that before. In the process of escaping, most people would feel that they were on the verge of collapsing. I don't remember anymore. It was too scary. The whole city was crazy, and there's no way to pray for help because the other places were the same. Some creatures get up early, some get up late. I ran with the group for an afternoon. A person in the group mutated and killed half of the people. I don't even remember how I got through everything. I only know that the world turned silent when everything ended. A dead silence. I guess this is the so-called end of the world in novels. Although I had survived, but my heart was dead, I had to find a reason to live. I needed to record what I had seen and hand it over to the army or the country. The information might be useful. These words were written inconsistently, and afterwards the words became very formal. Ling Mo felt that based on what he had written, probably everyone had the same feeling. Although he was at the suburbs when the disaster happened, Ling Mo also went through horrible situations. Looking at people being ripped apart in front of him, those twisted expressions really challenged the tolerance of ordinary people. But Ling Mo always thought that he was lucky he has the power to live on, and he found a reason to live quite early. The notebook was a collected information of what Luo Heng had seen, and since he was in the town area a lot earlier than Ling Mo and had met more survivors, he obviously had more info. He also recorded the situations in the streets around, including which place had less zombies, but also less resources, and the other places which had a lot of supplies, but also a lot of zombies. He also made detailed records about the types of zombies that are currently appearing, even more detailed than Ling Mo's understanding of the zombies. It seems that he did a very careful observation and even made some subtle features of these zombies, but he didn't know much about advanced zombies. When it came to advanced zombies, Ling Mo was the Bible. This is probably the guide to survive in the city. It's not really that completed, but might save a lot of time when the rescue team comes. Ling Mo was thinking this notebook was a really good thing. Besides supplies, information was also important in the apocalypse. After randomly browsing through, he put it back in his bag. They went out an alley and went on a road. There were about 100 zombies. Ling Mo stretched his neck and wrist before proceeding and taking out his knife. Just when the zombies saw Ling Mo, they dashed towards him. Ling Mo shouted, "You guys go, I will attack them from behind." At the same time, he shoot out his tentacles and controlled the zombie at the very front. The zombies suddenly turned their body. The 3 advanced zombies also dashed through the zombie crowd. Blood started to spray, and limbs started to fly in the sky. Ling Mo hid behind the puppets and carefully protected himself, using a very tricky way to attack, aiming only for those tough ones. After leaving the survivors, Ling Mo could finally fully use his power. After leaving the central area near X City University, relatively speaking, the number of zombies began to become scarce. As they got closer to the Hunterflower District, the surrounding buildings became less. There were more green areas, and the environment seemed a lot better than the town area. Most of the buildings here were office buildings, not a lot of stores, and the street was very broad. Looking from far away, you would get feeling that it's not much different than what it used to be. But the abandoned cars and several zombies randomly wandering around gave this place a creepy vibe. This environment made Ling Mo quite happy. Along the way, they have probably killed about 300 zombies, although Ling Mo didn't actually fight a lot, but he still used up a lot of spirit power. If it was only Ye Lian and Shana with him, Ling Mo wouldn't need to worry too much, but he had Ye Ling, and his connection with her wasn't too stable right now. The moment he gets exhausted, Ye Ling might try to get away from his control. He had to be careful, especially since Ye Ling was spiritually excited now. Her eyes had already turned red. "Shana, we are already nearby. Do you have any impression of this place?" Ling Mo wiped the blood off his short knife and walked toward Shana. He also realized that Shana's knife was completely worn off. If Shana still had human emotions, she would have been really sad. But Shana was holding it like she didn't really care and said, "No, I usually ride a car when I go out." "So you've never seen the road?" Ling Mo was disappointed. This Shana was also a missy. In Chinese, it's translated into young mistress, which also meant that she was basically pampered. Obviously, she was a lot better than Wang Rin in this aspect, but ever since she became an advanced zombie and had her memory recovered the second time, some of her hidden personality began to show. Right now, he could still see some of what she was from the past, but that was only just in front of him in Ye Lian. But to other people, especially Wang Rin, she showed a very completely different personality. This evil little demoness. This was the label Ling Mo gave her. But she obviously had this kind of personality before she turned. She used to smile every time she killed a zombie before she turned. "Here," Ye Lian suddenly talked. "I think I've been here before." Seemed like the memory was a bit blurry, but office buildings all looked the same, and this place wasn't far from the school. Maybe she really has been here before. Ling Mo was happy that Ye Lian was trying to think back. Since he met Ye Ling, Ling Mo was always thinking if Ye Lian would be like her, try to look for some of her memories. She must care about her fuzzy memory. Really? Then try to think harder. Ling Mo touched her hair and said. Ye Lian puzzledly looked at the building far away and nodded. Okay. Since Shana had no memory, he could only follow Ye Ling's guidance. If it weren't because of a sign that showed where the Hunterflower District was, Ling Mo would probably still be suspicious about Ye Ling. She had recovered less memories than Ye Lian and couldn't express herself properly. Took almost a minute every time to find the correct word to use in her sentences. On the way, her bat had already been completely soaked by blood. The top also had gotten gaps and sawdust. Ling Mo thought this might turn into a mace later. But just when Ling Mo was thinking, Ye Ling suddenly fell down. What the fuck? Ling Mo was shocked. He ran over and was going to help her up, but just when he reached her, he stopped. What the hell is this? Ye Ling didn't trip. She was actually attacked. And the thing that attacked Ye Ling gave Ling Mo a headache and goosebumps. A bull-with long snake wrapped around Ye Ling's ankle and quickly flowed through her long legs and went up. The snake looked different than the snakes Ling Mo had seen before. The body was red, the eyes were also red, had a flat head, looked extremely creepy. And when you look at it, it gives people a dangerous feeling. Ling Mo wasn't sure if it was poisonous or not, but he knew for sure that it is powerful. Or else it wouldn't even dare to attack an advanced zombie, and plus it wasn't that easy to take down Ye Ling. Wow! Shana followed over to see and shouted with her red eyes. Obviously, she was shouting with excitement and not fear. Ye Lian also had the same reaction. She had no fear, and of course, she didn't really care about Ye Ling. But this snake was unlike any other snake. Instead of completely wrapping the prey, it looked like it wanted to bite Ye Ling's neck. Ling Mo wasn't sure if snakes usually attack their prey like this, but the snake's behavior made Ling Mo think that it sort of had a resemblance to zombies. The zombie virus completely changes the instinct and the way they normally think, in other words, the brain. If they got a chance to bite their prey in the neck, they wouldn't bother aiming anywhere else. But when survivors or prey resist, it would be difficult to bite the neck first. Just like how Ye Ling attacked Ling Mo, she had aimed for his neck. The way the red snake insisted on crawling to her neck, as if it was a priority, seemed like some zombies would do. It hid in the bushes. Even the 3 advanced zombies couldn't feel it. It apparently had already found them and was ready to attack them. When Ye Ling tripped, she got a bit injured. At that time, the snake quickly crawled up. She was in great danger. But right at this moment, the powers of an advanced zombie was exhibited. She quickly grabbed the snake's body and kneeled down to roll over. She not only escaped, but also had the snake in her hand. "Throw it away!" Just when Ling Mo shouted, the snake got up and attacked Ye Ling's wrist. 2 holes appeared and blood started to leak out. Ye Ling let go immediately, as if she was electrified. Ling Mo realized the blood started to turn black, but it immediately turned back to regular red. "There's poison." The snake wasn't normal. It didn't seem to want to back off. It actually turned to attack Ling Mo, who was watching it. The snake lifted its head and attacked Ling Mo, shooting towards him like an arrow. Ling Mo was shocked. There was no way he could dodge this attack. He shot out his tentacles. When the snake was about less than a centimeter away from Ling Mo, it bumped into something like a wall and, fell on the ground, right beside where Ye Lian was standing. Ye Lian was not worried at all. Just when the snake wanted to get up, Ye Lian stepped right on its neck. Ling Mo didn't care about his dizziness and dashed forward, preparing to cut off the snake's body. "Don't lift your legs." Ling Mo was too late, because Ye Lian had already removed her legs. But just when Ling Mo pulled her away, he realized he was worrying too much. The snake was already killed, and to his surprise, something seemed to pop out from its head. "What is this?" Ling Mo used the short knife to pick out the piece from the fleshy snake head, and then used the tip of the knife to remove the excess debris. To Ling Mo's surprise, it is a virus gel. Although it wasn't big, the crystal clear and gem-like thing was still a gel. That means that the snake not only got infected, but had also successfully mutated. The gel condensed to a certain level, which meant it had mutated to mutated zombie level. Perhaps the animal instincts were still there. It had actually dared to attack an advanced zombie, which meant that their balls were much bigger than the mutated zombies. Perhaps the level of suppression between zombies didn't have any effect on a mutant snake. Ling Mo was puzzled for a long time and suddenly pulled himself together and had a question. "Why is there a snake here? From the wild area? But there shouldn't be any snakes near here." Right at this moment, Ye Lian frowned and said with uncertainty, "Zoo? There's a zoo here." Ling Mo paused for a bit and thought of something and remembered that he saw a station called X City Zoo at a bus stop. No wonder, but couldn't figure out how the snake came out. But hey, since it's the end of the world, anything can happen. Then it might be more other animals. No wonder there weren't a lot of zombies here. This gave Ling Mo a headache. Zombies relied on numbers, but these animals were different. A snake had the guts to attack advanced zombies, and almost made it with a sneak attack. If there were more monsters in the future, it would be a very difficult situation to handle. No matter what, an animal's size and hunting instinct would be much powerful than a human's. At least the good thing was that small animals couldn't handle the virus. They would just die and decay. Otherwise, if there were scorpions and small snakes around, it really would be a huge disaster. This road looked peaceful, but danger was hidden within. Ling Mo put away the gel. He frowned and looked at Ye Ling. After being bitten, her eyes revealed some relentlessness. She could go crazy at any time. "Senior sister?" Ling Mo was going to pull her towards him and see how she was doing, but she stepped back, staring at Ling Mo aggressively. But because of the spirit connection she had with Ling Mo, she hadn't taken action. However, Ling Mo also can see that her fierceness as an advanced zombie had been thoroughly stimulated. In addition, Ling Mo's spirit power was exhausted. It was really difficult to completely restrain her. Ling Mo looked into her eyes and suddenly felt rage in his heart. "I wasn't going to rape you. I only just wanted to see if you were okay. Plus, senior sister, you're my goddamn puppet, so why the fuck are you so disobedient? You can't always want to attack people." Ling Mo was trying to control her, but she started to fight back. Just when Ye Ling was going to resist, Ling Mo used his tentacles to wrap her up. Ye Ling felt dizzy all of a sudden, but her eyes turned even more red. This kind of feeling was like having something drilled into your head. As long as the person had a bit of consciousness, they would not be able to tolerate this feeling. Right now, it was a contest of who had stronger and more spiritual power. Ling Mo was already nearly exhausted after taking down the mutated snake. He might pass out at any time, but the rage made him stay awake from the adrenaline of being pissed off. If he couldn't even control this female zombie, his puppet ability would be a total joke. He was going to preserve her strength, so he didn't do anything to her in case he damaged her nerves. But right now, she wanted to attack him. Ling Mo decided he'd rather have an idiot than a ticking time bomb. Although this is the worst-case scenario, but Ling Mo was fully prepared. "Senior sister, you made me do this." Even though Ling Mo was exhausted, but his ability to use spirit tentacles has upgraded to another level. His total concentration made Ye Ling unable to breathe. Her bright spirit ball started to twist. She wasn't able to get loose from Ling Mo's tentacles, but instead created more gaps in her spirit ball for Ling Mo to invade. If she keeps resisting, she might go back to the time when she didn't have consciousness. Right at this moment, she suddenly twitched as if she got stimulated and then fainted. Ling Mo took this opportunity to regain control of her. It can probably be said that this was the only time that Ling Mo actually had total control over her. She would never get a chance to fight back. He held back on his happiness and went to look at Ya Ling, but he frowned. He thought Ya Ling passed out because she couldn't fight the spirit invasion, but it's actually not. Her wrist has already bled regular red color blood, but the mutated snake seemed to be very tough. Her wrist was swollen and she is having a tough time bleeding. What the hell? I just controlled her, and she became like this. Ling Mo was really disappointed after he finally used all his power to control her. But this is what happened? He has no idea what kind of snake it was and whether it had poison or not. But there's no use of guessing, putting aside whether they could find an antidote. Mutated snakes might even be different than they were before. Wouldn't know how the poison would be like after it mixed between a zombie virus and the snake poison. Seems like the most important part of the snake isn't body or speed, it's the poison. Ling Mo was feeling lucky that he blocked its attack, but at the same time, he was having a headache with Ya Ling's situation. To be honest, he would only feel regretful and sorry about her, but he wouldn't feel sad. They were just alumni, but seeing a person you know is pretty hard right now. So Ling Mo treated her a bit different than other people, and she's a very powerful advanced zombie. Plus, it's been a long time in trying to control her. If she just suddenly died, wouldn't that suck? Ling Mo hesitated and said, "Whatever, there's nothing we can do now except find a place to stay and hope she can get past this. If she can't, then that's just the way it is." He was thinking that probably the viruses and poison were currently battling in Ya Ling's body. Just don't know which one was more powerful. Shana was a bit unhappy that Ling Mo didn't let go of her right away. She doesn't know the value of advanced zombies. Ye Lian, on the other hand, helped Ling Mo carry Ya Ling, and the snake body was left where it died, probably might get eaten by other zombies later.